That's the spirit. Let's give him a shout!
Sweet reverse, everybody.
Ooh, I like
What's
that. Let's
going
try that. Let's go.
on?
Let's go. Ooh. Slingshot.
Steve with the
I have no idea. You put this away.
I usually do it quick.
pocket.
In my pocket. A rainy day.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wednesday Wolfpack Wednesdays, episode 71, with my esteemed panel. I want to cut out all the bullshit and get straight down to it because we got a lot of stuff to do. I want to say hi to DLO. I want to say hi to Brick. I want to say hi to EvilSneaker. And I want to say hi to you guys really quickly to give you guys a little intro, a brief intro. What figures you got coming in? DLO, what's on the horizon for you?
I love me a green woman. I got She-Hulk on the way. Let's go.
Oh, I thought he was going to say Gamora.
I got Gamora.
She-Hulk. All right. Did you like the show?
Yes and no.
Just like the figure?
Had its moments. But yeah, I mean, I like the character. So, and I think I like the actor too. So, actress, I should say. It was fun. It was like the only show that me and my wife actually cared to sit down and watch together. So it was kind of a favorite of hers. So it was like, yeah, okay, she won't be mad at me if I grab that one, I guess. So just hedging my bets, making sure I can keep being a collector.
Very well. I saw on Instagram, and I can see in your little background there, Brick, that you had a pretty good week. What you got?
Had a very good week.
And
I had a Groot, Batman 89, and Attack of the Clones Anakin. The only one that I've opened up so far, though, is this bad boy.
Look at that beast.
Look at that.
That's awesome.
He's amazing. And what's crazy to me, at least the way it feels to me, is the Groot box is heavier than 89, and I have the deluxe 89. So and you guys know how big that box is. So that's crazy.
That's what
but yeah, I'm excited to unbox the other two and to play around with Groot a little bit more, put those arms on, and I'm not sure what's coming next, but hopefully the Mars Toys Candyman comes soon. I know they're working on that.
yeah, we keep waiting with anticipation. I think 3 of us are getting that, right? Sneaker, you're getting that one too, right?
I didn't pre-order yet. I'm considering. I don't know. I kind of want to see. I kind of want to wait and see how it looks.
Sure.
The
most of
Candyman can. I don't want to get Graham demonetized in my beautiful voice, but anyways.
The Candyman. Most of those Mars toys will be in stock for a little bit, but once they're gone, they're gone. So just keep an eye on that. Sneaker, anything else you got coming in this week? Or anything?
Yeah, I do have a couple things coming in. One thing shipped. I don't know if it's going to make it by the end of the week, though, because I think it just shipped today. It looks like I'm looking right now, Monday from Sideshow. My Clone Commando's coming in that I put on payment plan when it released. So that'll be nice. I would be getting Scorch, but I payment planned him for a few months, I think, too, just because I don't really need those right this second. But then the most exciting one that I'm looking forward to the most would be kicking off the Ahsoka line, baby. Grand Admiral Thrawn will be here on Saturday from Underground Figures.
As will mine from Underground Figures.
Is that what we're
Well
doing
done.
now?
Well
That's
done.
how we
Well
say it
done.
now?
Today.
By the way, I got Anakin and 89 from Sideshow, but I got Groot from Underground Figures. I don't know how you
That's
guys
so
do that.
crazy. You got that. So you got Anakin already? That's funny because I got Anakin too, and I'm waiting from.
Yes, I don't know what's going on with Anakin, man. That figure is just taking forever.
Right.
Say it every week.
Yeah. I have so Thrawn, as we said, from Underground Figures coming
That's
this
what I say now.
weekend. So you guys might not see a video from me Friday. I'm gonna try to get something out by Sunday for that Thrawn review. So I'll do my best with that. And then I do have the Mars Toys 1989 Joker coming as well with the museum scene with the melted face.
that's pretty
I'm
cool.
gonna be updating the Joker here and
Nice.
putting that head sculpt on there, and then using the other Joker along with my 89 Batman. So really excited for that. The juices are flowing with Batman, and we're going to talk about Batman Returns. It's been about 5 days now, but again, we haven't been able to talk about it as a group, and I'm thinking we're going to have some good conversations about that. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get going,
Wait, can I say one more thing?
yeah, go ahead.
I did get in earlier this week. Actually, was it earlier this week? It might have been. I forget what day it was. But I got the Iron Man Mark 6 with the gantry. Just haven't been had time to open it yet. But I got it from Underground Figures. There we go.
All right. Yeah, I can't wait
I'm
to
gonna
see
open
that.
that
You're going to do a
tomorrow.
review on that one?
I would like to. It's very
get $20.
challenging. It's very challenging for me to get reviews
like a
right
loose
now.
review would be fine too.
Yeah, we'll
just
see.
talking about it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. Take that as a maybe. All right. Good to see you guys here tonight. Good to hang out with you yet again for another episode. Let's see who's joining us tonight. We have Valkyrie Magnus, channel member. Sorry, can't make it tonight. Have a great show. Have fun, and I'll catch it later, guys. We appreciate you watching the replay. It means a lot. I know sometimes it's not always the same to watch the replay, but very happy that you guys do that. We got Luke Christian in the house. Happy Wednesday, Wolfpackers. Packers are 2-1. Brick is supporting the team. I got the Bucks hat on, but then DLO is also coming off a win, so he's got to be feeling pretty good.
One win leads to 2 wins, so it leads to playoffs, which eventually leads to the Super Bowl. So it's your boys.
I was listening to some podcasts, and they said that the Cowboys are at a real big disadvantage. This is the first time ever that they've played on a Sunday and then played an away game on a Thursday with that short turnaround time.
Ever?
That's
Or
what
just
it's
like against the
it's
Giants?
always been a home game,
Huh.
like
Well,
a home and a home. I don't know. That's
I guess they're not America's team anymore.
I heard it wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We got Christian Crosshair Cooper joining us tonight. What's going on, my friend? Another channel member here. We have one Adam 12. Hi, Wolfpack. Hope you guys are doing well. Just got my 89 Batman delivered about an hour ago. Very excited.
Nice.
So Brick, you said you've only opened Groot.
I've only opened Groot. Yeah, so I got my figures yesterday, and I was going to do a haul video. So I was gonna have like a cinematic opening as I went. And I was like, you know what, that's too much work. I'm just gonna open them and enjoy it. And yeah, so I'm taking my time.
We got all these high aspirations for content, but end of the day, sometimes you just gotta enjoy the hobby for what it is too, and not always think about content. So totally get that. But I don't know how you don't sneak a peek. I would at least be.
Well, I think if I didn't see it
for the
over at your,
family.
if I didn't see it at your place on Sunday, I think I would have opened him first.
Even Anakin. Like I'd want
Anakin, yeah, Anakin's probably next.
Yeah.
But I had to open Groot up, my buddy.
But yeah, but you saw 89 at my place this
Yep.
weekend, and what were your initial thoughts?
Everything I heard on YouTube is a lie.
Hmm.
It looks amazing.
What?
So
So
yeah,
we
it
don't
looks really
believe
good.
everything we read and watch on YouTube?
Yeah, not at all. I saw a comment. Somebody said it looks way better in person too. It's like, yes, it does. It's
It really does.
and with that base, I think
No
that
way.
base helps it out a lot. But
It's
damn,
all-
and the bloody look that you got posing.
In the fight, you can have the
Nice.
arms bent. It's a
Yep,
little
it's
fight,
nice.
but you
It's
got to do
nice.
yourself a favor though. Get yourself that custom cape. It's going to help a lot.
Yeah,
It's going to help a lot.
that's true. You do have the custom cape, so maybe not everything
Right.
online is a lie.
Right.
Yeah.
Excited for you to be able to open that figure up, all those figures, and enjoy them. We got Joven here. Evening, everyone. Any poster collectors here? Just got delivered a dope Ghost in the Shell poster by Mondo.
Ooh.
Not here. I don't have the wall space. All my wall space is taken up by Packer stuff. So like my room has 3 hobbies mixed into one. That would be whiskey, football, and hot toys.
That makes
So
sense.
the wall space is for Packer stuff. So not me. How about you guys?
I've got some posters. I can only put a couple up at a time though, and I my goal was to switch them out depending on like the season, how I was feeling. Get some different posters switched out throughout the year, but yeah. But I don't have cool stuff like I'm sure he's gone to like a really nice website that's like, you know, some special artist or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, I just get like movie posters.
Sure. Steve, I know you have a pretty cool setup with your posters and switching them out. You're muted.
Oh, can't hear
Shit.
you.
I wasn't going to bring that up because that's kind of frowned upon, but
Oh yeah. Well, basically, he just
Well,
has
that's okay.
one per.
one big poster. I do have a digital style poster, I'll say that, but I do have a couple posters. One I have right here, actually, you can see I actually put just for now, just in the back of my Modu space by my vintage collection HasLab Razor Crest. This is a Mandalorian poster that I got from when I went to the Mandalorian panel at Star Wars Celebration 2019 in Chicago. And then I got another one, Jedi Fallen Order, which I went to a panel, and it was actually really cool. I got it signed by Vince Zampella and Stig Asmussen, who worked on the game. Vince Zampella is like the head of Respawn Entertainment for EA Games. So they both signed it on the celebration stage, which was really cool. And then probably my favorite poster, the one I recently got, was when I went to that Star Wars marathon. It's the Phantom Menace 25th anniversary, and it says like the Skywalker Saga marathon on it. It's actually pretty like limited. It was only for the theaters that had the like the marathon on Star Wars Day. So that's really it. Those, I don't have a ton of posters because I don't have really like a lot of space. I'm kind of picky about what I want to do with wall art, but
Sure.
posters are cool.
DLO, is it fair to assume that most of your wall space is now taken up by cases?
It is, but I actually still have artwork actually up on some of my walls, some of my non-usable walls for figures. So I actually invested in metal art plates from a company called Displate, if you guys have heard of them before. So
Nice.
So yeah, I got a couple of those bad boys hanging around. I got some really cool, it's Mando / Clone Wars inspired like helmets and like stuff like that. So it's like kind of like if an artist was just gonna splash in their paintbrush, but they were painting like a helmet, it's kind of have that art feel to it there. So it's pretty cool. So, but the nice thing about it is I bought extras. So what I do is I just kind of rotate them out because I got like maybe 4 on display at a time. And then when I get bored of them, I'll just pull off the plate because it's all magnetized and I'll slap another one on top of it.
That's
Nice.
cool. That's a
Very
really
cool.
good idea. I got a poster from Displate. I don't know if you guys ever watched Denver the Last Dinosaur growing up.
Yeah, I did.
So I got that from my youngest son because he's in love with that song a couple years
Oh,
ago.
yeah?
And
Okay.
yeah, that was like the one place I could find a Denver the Last Dinosaur poster. So it's cool.
Very interesting. Oh, okay. We got
Very
X-Man
interesting.
Supreme in the chat tonight. Just got my Hano Classic Wolverine from Sideshow, and they also just emailed me that the brown suit is expected to ship soon. Congrats
Interesting.
on that, my friend. We have channel member Brad Cormack in the house. Good evening to you, too sweet. Nomar is here. What up, Pack? I'm so disappointed with 85th. I just want a good comic Batman, but can't say I'm truly surprised with the lackluster anniversary. Really quickly, do you guys think we get anything else for 85th anniversary?
Yes.
I mean, I hope so. Because
I would hope so.
that's it. I mean,
yes,
I guess
because I would hope.
I have
We still have
hope,
the rest of
but
the
I
year.
mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I just feel like Hot Toys is like so behind, I think, on announcements, because wasn't it supposed to be like a hot Marvel summer, and we're just getting it now at the end of summer? You know what I mean? So it's just like anything's possible, just because I don't know, Hot Toys just doesn't know how to stick to a schedule. But I'm hoping there's more. My guess, and it just to me it just makes sense, is do an old school Silver Age Batman and do Hano the way you're doing the comics for Marvel there. I think that would be an easy one to make and an easy one for us to want to buy. So,
Dude,
but then
a Hano Batman would be sweet, actually.
Yeah.
I just think it feels like it's a match made in heaven, right? For what they're doing over there on that line. Like, why not put Batman there too? It just makes total sense. But that's just my opinion on that there. But I mean, as far as the other stuff, I think there is going to be more. We're going to talk about some of it that was already announced later on tonight in a second, and I think there's probably going to be more along the way we get there. So I guess when we get to that figure we're going to cover tonight, we'll talk about this question a little bit more. But yeah, I think there's hope that there's going to be more for sure.
And I'll start a poll, so why don't you guys take a minute to go vote on that after you hit the like button and subscribe to all my friends' channels. So I want to know if you're satisfied with the Batman 85 announcements thus far. So go vote on that while we're saying hello to you guys. And then we're probably going to start with that Batman Returns. So we have Adric23 channel member. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the support. Same to you. Hayden Collects. What's up, everybody? Too sweet. Tider FL is joining us tonight. What's up, everyone? Hurricane party at DLO's tomorrow. You guys getting hit?
Yeah. Well, at least that's what the news reports are saying. So tropical storm, big winds, already flooding in some parts of Tampa.
North Carolina.
Very possible. Of course, something like this happens right after I finish remodeling my damn collection room. So let's see what happens here. So
Yikes. That's nerve-wracking.
now you get used to it out here.
Yeah, just part of the game, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We got the movie canon, evening S tier collectors and Wolfpack members.
Well played,
What's going
Gio.
on,
Well played.
Gio?
Well played.
We got Universal Key. What's going on, my friend? Thrawn's Office, another channel member. Hello. Hi there. Good to see you, my friend. SG Collectibles. What's up, Wolfpack? What's going on? Happy hump day to you. Batman Collectibles is here as well. Always love the Keaton love that he has with the profile pic. I started the movie over the weekend, and then my girls, like, God bless them, they'll watch the Penguin movie with me, but I can only watch it so many times, and I'm just like, can we watch the first one and then watch Batman Returns? So I started it, and then I was getting an earful, and nobody wanted to watch it, so I got to go watch that on my own time again sometime, because I'm getting the itch with the 89 coming in, with Mars Toys Joker coming in. I want to watch 89 again, so always just appreciate Keaton so much. Darth Tamaris is here as well. Hello, Jedi Knights Watch, and everyone else. Salute. What's going on? We got Jazzy. What's up, boys? Hello. Hope you have your wine ready to go tonight. We're just about to get into it. Joe P, where'd you get Anakin from? I'm still waiting on Off the Racks to ship. You boys want to let them know where you got Anakin? Because I did not get Anakin.
I can give him a clue. It wasn't at figure.
Yeah, I told him in the comments. I got mine in from Sideshow.
Steve, where'd you get yours from?
Got mine from Underground. Just waiting on them to get it from Sideshow. Hopefully Sideshow will ship theirs out soon. I don't know, man. I don't know what's the deal.
Did you guys hear of the crate strike or whatever, some sort of strike on the East Coast, which is going to slow down crates? I saw the Batman statue collector briefly talking about it before I had to go do something else. Yeah. Anybody have any info on that or hear about?
So there's supposed to be like a big likely to happen strike that's going to basically impact the entire East Coast big port by like New Jersey and New York. That's going to basically have like significant if this happens, it's going to have significant like global impact on shipping. Like could impact the holidays, could impact, I don't want to get too much into it, but like really bad to the point of kind of how it was during COVID when everything just kind of shut down. Like that's what could happen with this. And basically like stuff coming in from the East Coast, if they wanted to still deliver stuff, they'd have to go up around to like all the way to the West Coast, which probably like logistically, price wise and all that isn't really worth doing. But yeah, I was talking to somebody about it today and I kind of looked into it a little bit during the day. It's not looking good if they can't come to an agreement before that happens, but hopefully they can figure something out.
All right. DLO, any thoughts? You look shocked.
Be waiting months and
months.
First
I'm hearing of this, so got a lot going on right now.
And I didn't need that.
Tropical storm, check. Potential strike on the East Coast, check. Giants Cowboys tomorrow. I got a lot going on.
We should do a watch party for that.
Sorry for my posture. This is a lot to take in. I'm just kind of like taken back by the news.
Yeah, you know what though? If the Giants are winning, you should go to Copper Drop and just give our boy Joey a really, really hard time over there as he's live streaming.
I intend on it.
I wrote a nice little note to myself, like checking which Copper Drop tomorrow. Only for us.
Well, hopefully DLO can regroup here for the show, and we'll get through this and have a good time.
Tough start.
We got Jose in the house too. What's up, everyone? What's going on, Jose? Thanks for being here. Hope you're doing well. Stacy, good evening, Wolfpack and fellow collectors. We have the Ben Thomas Show. Hey, everyone. Great to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're enjoying your 89 Batman. I believe he got his. I get all the YouTubers mixed up a little bit, but I think he has his. Or maybe I just saw him doing this or that.
He did. Yes, he put an excellent video out.
Yeah.
It was actually outstanding. He got a lot of views on it. So actually, congratulations goes out to you, Ben. I saw it myself. It was so fun. It reminded me exactly how I felt when we unboxed it a couple weeks ago on here. Just man was in a candy store. He just loved his brand new shiny toy.
I saw his Batmobile one, but I didn't know if he got the 89 Batman yet.
Oh yes, I believe he did. He did. Yes. Sorry, I was referring to Batman. My apologies.
I did see that one. Yeah, he did that video really well done. Good shots, good pans, and everything on that. So, yeah, if you guys haven't, go check out the Ben Thomas Show and his channel. We have Kirby Kai just got my 89 Batman today, and we'll say the suit isn't as bad in hand. No, for sure. I mean, like even a foot away, you really don't notice all of the texture and whatnot. I don't know. Even it's got a little shine to it, but I don't know. I just think it looks good on the shelf. It just looks good in the display. I don't have a problem with it. So while it's not perfect, and obviously we want our figures to be as accurate as possible, I got to say I don't have a problem with it. Maybe it's just my love for 89 Batman that's just blinding me. Don't know, but that freaking base is sweet. So
can't wait. I actually got that Batman on order as well too with underground figures.
Any day now, any day.
Me too.
Do we get money for the show every time we say underground figures?
Right? Yeah, I would say this counts as a shout out. So,
someone's keeping count.
Played drinking
18
game
so far.
Quick. Batman Collectibles. Him and I have talked kind of on the side too about his Titans and Will Levis, and not a good place to be in. I stuck my neck out for Will Levis this offseason.
Yes, he did.
He's going to be a sleeper. Still like to believe that, but it's not looking good.
Got mayo.
Man, it puts mayo in his coffee.
Yep, he's got mayo fingers, man.
Graham, I love that Bluey shirt. Absolutely legendary. Well, thank you so much. My kids love Bluey, and we were at Target, and I'm like, oh hell, why don't I just get a Bluey shirt too? And the kids love it, so I figured I'd share it with you guys too. X-Man says, I got to get a digital frame. I'm running out of wall space, and I love my wall art. Yeah, they're cool, but they are not cheap unless you do it the Steve way.
Get an old TV. Just use an old TV.
Yeah, turn it on its side.
Yep.
We have Derek here as well, another channel member. Good evening, Wolfpack. Good evening to you. Thank you for being here. Doug Gambino, hello. Good to see you. Quesablanco, good to see you, my friend. Gotta catch the replay, but have a good night. Too sweet. Cheers. Thank you for dropping in. I do appreciate that. Doc Bat is here as well. Good evening. We have Iron Dude joining us tonight. What's going on? And of course, Riley Reviews. He actually just posted his InArt Superman video. So another figure that I have pre-ordered that I'm looking forward to picking up. So, well done on that, Riley, as well. Hope you're completely satisfied with that figure. I don't know. That one is weird too, because on video, the normal portrait looks a little flat or dull to me, but everybody says in person it looks great. So looking forward to getting that in hand too.
Yeah, he's doing some great poses with that as well. I'm noting, like, he's been showing that off. It's looking really nice.
And we also have D.196 joining us tonight. It says almost got it, but saw 92 version, and I'm excited to get that. That's very interesting because that's what we're going to talk about right now. So thank you guys all for joining us. We have 56 in the house. To start the show, please hit that like button. It really does help us get exposure in YouTube land and get the video out to other people. And before I forget to, Yomo is joining us. What's going on, my friend? Too sweet to you. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. You're just in time for this. Is something I'm really enjoying the last couple weeks too, guys, is being able to talk about not only Batman, but like classic Batman and all of the stuff that we grew up with. So I think this was this Friday morning that, or was it Thursday or Friday morning they announced this, which we kind of saw this. We talked last Wednesday about what the 85 announcements could be, and I remember saying, be prepared because we could get more announcements, but nothing could be new. It all could be 2.0s or reissues. So we got Batman Beyond repaint, we got Batgirl repaint, we're getting now Batman Returns 2.0, and then we said, maybe we get a 66 Batman, maybe they do something else that's been done, but just kind of modifying it. How far out of Batman could they go? Could they go to a Catwoman, Penguin? Could they do Harley? Could they do this stuff? So right now they're sticking pretty close to the vest with Batman. What do you guys think? I'm just going to open this up to discussion. What do you think about this announcement? Because the 1.0, I know DLO and I have both owned it. The 1.0 is really amazing. So do we feel this justifies a 2.0? Is there enough here that's new? Or should this be a reissue? Should have not been touched? I want to get your guys' thoughts. I want to start with DLO just because I know he's owned this figure, or currently still owns it. So go ahead, DLO.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, kind of to your point, I mean, I think that the newest thing about this figure is that there's more new collectors who don't have it than do have it presently, right? So I think that's probably the best way to kind of answer that question. I mean, it's been around for a long time. You guys know how I feel about reissues or 2.0s. If you're going to do it with a respectable amount of time. And this one, in fairness to this, has been out for quite some time. And I think it's at this point where it makes sense to go back to the drawing board and bring it out again with some refinements here. Now, the big thing for me is that it feels like it's almost like the 1.0, which is a good thing, right? It looks very similar to Michael Keaton. I don't see any of the same controversy we have with the 89, right? Respectfully. So that's going to be good for collectors here. What you see is what you're getting over here. I just imagine this is just going to have improvements with the body, paint apps, and hopefully it takes care of that seam in the back like the 89 did. So,
right.
Speaking of which, since I don't have my 89 because I got mine from Underground Figures, Graham, you got yours open. So Brick, you don't have yours open yet. That's on the way. How does the back look? I meant to ask you that earlier this week. How does the back look? Yeah, the back of the cowl. Now that it doesn't have the seam, does it look natural, smooth? Yeah, that's great.
Natural, seamless.
Perfect. So
it should.
There you go. I expect the same thing from the 92. It looks great. I love that now today we have the technology to do the heavier set wings from 92. I do like that you can do that with that there. The only thing I wish, and I kind of spoke to this when we were kind of playing our little Q&A last week when we were talking about what we'd want. I said I wanted a 2.0 of this, of the 2-pack, but we're going to get it as a solo, I guess. So it's going to be a pick and choose, or maybe go out there and kit bash your own Bruce Wayne there, but that's okay. That's okay. I said the other day, like, it might be a good idea if somebody has the Mars toys, maybe swap out the head,
Right.
and there you can go. You can just make that your permanent Bruce Wayne moving forward.
That's actually probably the cheapest route, honestly.
You figure for a head, a body, and a suit, a
170
tuxedo,
for the
that
whole
might be
figure.
the cheapest way to go.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that the old version of Michael Keaton's head sculpt would fit on this somehow?
Like the Flash one?
Yeah, the Flash one. Like if you didn't want to use a modern suit, you wanted to put like the old man Keaton on
They're
this.
all using that new neck joint now, with the
Sure.
little plastic on top of the neck peg, so it's possible. X-Men saying about the panel size.
Remember, this was in the armory.
So, question for
too.
you guys here, and I think I heard somebody say, I don't know, Stevie, you might have said it yourself here. Are they not correcting the seam in the back of the 92? Is it still there? I heard.
It's like in the photo. It's in like the photo that shows all the accessories. Like you can still see the seam, like on the back of the like in this photo. You have to really zoom in. I think you can see that, like it's still there on the back of the head, like on the back of the cowl.
I
apparently.
think
Hopefully
that's gonna be
updated.
taken care of.
I would hope so.
I think they're
can't
just
see them going
using
back to that after fixing
because
it
there's
on the
really nothing
89.
different, so they're probably
Yeah.
just using the 1.0.
Yeah, for sure.
But while we're on this, like just again, like the cape, why can't they just do the cape right? Why is it so hard to do a cape? Why can these customizers just have the fabric and cut it out and give it to you, where Hot Toys wants to give you this heavy wired cape with wires running all through it, and you just see too how it just does not drape very nice. Like this is like the best you're gonna get it, and they probably futzed with this a lot. And this looks okay, but like this is very hard to obtain, in hand, like and get it to look like that. So I don't know.
Well, the big reason for them not fixing that, honestly, it's because of guys like Jackson Q and Unreal Customs.
Boy.
Those guys always bail them out, and
Yeah.
for them, it's just like, why do we have to put more money to when we know there's somebody out there who can do
I
the
would
job
think it
for
would
us?
actually save them money. You just don't do the wired cape, just do a piece of fabric. Like I don't know. I would feel like it wouldn't cost more money.
I think the only issue is that then you're not gonna appease collectors who want to do like a dynamic cape pose. So like,
And that's another thing. I do think they
Yep.
should offer both.
yeah, you have to have both. I feel like the only option really is you do a drape cape and a wire cape to get everybody who wants to display it and pose it kind of how they want to.
InArt just did it with the Superman. I think all caped figures really should have both options thrown into the box. But would you rather have a diorama base like we get with this one, not shown here? Would you rather have the diorama base or two capes?
Oh,
Base.
the base.
100%.
Yep.
It's a lot. I feel like getting a nice diorama base is typically more expensive. I feel like if you're going to get something like of this size, I feel like Hot Toys, when it comes to the base, they actually have like pretty good values. If you compare like standard edition versus deluxes, like a lot of the times the base is worth the extra, $40 or whatever. But if you want to go buy one of those secondary, like especially a custom base, like you're going to be paying a decent chunk of money. So I would go base.
Okay. We got Collection Obsession here. We have Irish Knight joining us as well, and Sebastian. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here. Steven, what are your other thoughts on this? Picking
Dude,
this up?
this looks really good, man. Like I think the head sculpt for one is the head sculpt, and like all these lower faces, like the lower face plates look really good. It is interesting. I was kind of looking back at the 1.0. It looks like the faceplate expressions like are very similar. Like they almost look like they're almost the same. So that's kind of interesting, but looks really good, man. I think the one thing I guess for me is like they just came out with 89. Like you heard, I forget who said it in the chat, but said, like I'm glad like they just showed the 92, so I'm going to be waiting for that one to pick that one up. Like Hot Toys, like they're shooting themselves in the foot by like announcing stuff like this when one just came out. Like that could have been a collector who bought the 89 and then they announced this in 6 months, and then maybe the collector wants to get both of them. You know what I mean? So
Sideshow, get it to people first.
Yeah, this is just like the Armory. This situation isn't as bad, but this is kind of like the Armory where they like they're announced another Armory before the other one's even out, right? So I feel like that's just it's just kind of an interesting choice. And I know the suits are different and like people are gonna pick, but like at the same time, like it's still like a similar figure, I would feel like, for a lot of people. So that's just kind of questionable that they're doing that. But for me, like, I don't have a Returns Batman. Like, this is something that definitely interests me. I love the idea of like the head sculpt and doing, like DLO said, like the Mars toys. I think that's just like, that's really, I feel like for me, how I'm gonna end up like doing this is something like that, where I take that head sculpt and put it onto
welcome,
like
America.
another body. Thank you, DLO, the American Collector.
Graham, why are you so dark? I feel like you're trying to set the mood.
you
for
are
yourself.
Oh,
no
my
shadows.
camera's just going nuts. So if I'm not looking up, it's dimming the
Whoa, now you're really pale.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, this like wingsuit is badass, man. Like,
Right?
I don't know if I'd
Say?
ever display it with this, but this is sick. Like, just
I
the
totally
whole
take photos with this. for
yeah,
sure.
like, yeah, this would be a really cool figure. Like, if you have, or if you're just like, if you just have like a Batman shrine, I think like Batman Collectibles, who has a Batman shrine, like having this in like a Maju case or like standing in the back with like the wings spread out or something, just would look
Badass.
really
Yeah.
cool having this like that, I feel like. So really cool that they're including that. I'm happy, like DLO said, like we're not having like this controversy that we're having like with the 89. It seems like the kind of reception for this one is pretty positive. I don't really have any complaints. This is probably one I'm gonna get. I'm excited to I'm excited. I'm also all-time hype for Batman right now, so I'm gonna stop talking now.
Good. Hey, Steve, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
To your question, to your point before, because you bring up a point. I mean, I don't think it's egregious because like you have 89 fans, you have 92 fans, and you have just Batman fans, right? So like I don't think it's as bad as a very similar Armory to a very similar suit, right? It's not as bad, but you got a good point. If both of them were announced at the same time, would you pick one over the other? Would you still consider picking up both?
For me personally, like I want both because I like both
There you
movies
go.
a lot.
We're Batman fans.
Yeah, we're Batman fans. Like if you're a Batman fan, I mean, if you're a Batman fan, you're going to justify both. We're Batman fans.
Of course we
We're
get
gonna make it. Of course, we buy every Batman figure that's announced.
with just different gloves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you know, like there's not everybody is to the point of like, you know, being able to buy both of them, and I get that. And like if you're gonna pick one over the other, I see a lot of people also picking or choosing. But at the end of the day, Hot Toys they're gonna make these these types of decisions. And also, I just want to make one quick comment because Graham completely skipped over me when we were talking about whether or not I thought we were going to get more Batman 85 figures. It's okay, Graham. I forgive you.
I didn't forget. I was waiting.
Oh, okay. Thank you, D-Lo, for waiting.
You're welcome.
For my opinion. I wonder if like it's kind of weird. Like I wonder if some of these like anniversary IP.
Oh no, what happened? Oh shoot, you got muted. Time out for you, Sneaker.
Wow, did you really do it? Holy cow.
What a dick.
Go ahead. Sneaker, go ahead.
God, you muted me again. Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. I
85.
literally forgot.
85.
Oh yeah, okay, 85. So I wonder if like some of these are just like gonna take through the end of the year, and then once they're not done doing it through the end of the year, that's gonna be that. So like I expect like I wonder if like I feel like by the time January rolls around, these anniversaries like Phantom Menace, we're probably not gonna get any more Phantom Menace. Like I feel like the ship will have sailed. I don't know if anybody knows what the anniversary announcements have been like for the past, like when they stopped making announcements for it, but I feel like once we get beyond like 2024, we're probably at the point where it's gonna be basically done.
Bro, you understand. I just finished saying earlier, like it's supposed to be Marvel hot summer Marvel, where the hell they call it there. It's gonna be hot Marvel fall.
Marvel winter.
Marvel winter. There's going to be the 26th anniversary for the Phantom Menace.
26.
Like you got to understand.
Celebrating 1 year beyond the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace.
Ass backwards company where like and this has been since the day I got here. Everybody's had theories. Oh, we got the 30th anniversary of this kind of, so naturally they don't do what we think they're gonna do.
Almost
They
never.
should, because it makes business sense. It's smart. That's why like Warner Brothers will put out an anniversary to your favorite DVD or Blu-ray, right? Because it's a steelbook and this came out and add new footage. Hot Toys doesn't do that kind of stuff. So it's just like when Hot Toys gets around to it, they will get around to it. That's why it's always kind of like, will they, won't they do it kind of thing, right? Always. It's always on the table no matter what day of the week it is. I mean, obviously, Rick's going to be excited about this when we talk about Spider-Man later. What's the point of doing that one right now? Why do we need that one at this very second? What anniversary this one? No, it's just because it was a Tuesday and decided, what the hell? We got nothing else to do. Let's come for pictures, right? So, I mean, it's all going to still be on the table. So I want to kind of wrangle this back to 85 here because, dude, I think there's Catwoman. We talked about it last week when we were talking about Jazzinc's Catwoman. I feel like a lot of people have kind of said the same thing, especially when you see the modular changes you can do with the base. We can change the front of it there. I think Catwoman's coming. Does anybody have any thoughts on that part?
So that was shown during the tease at the whatever event that was. They did have it not on the base, but they had it next to it, and nobody said anything. But then all of a sudden it's announced, and then they see that it's on the base, and then everybody's like, "We're getting Catwoman." I think Steve said it in his live. Like, I just don't think a base is enough to really think there's a tease. Like, typically there's gonna be something of the figure, like blurred out arm or the behind, from behind looking at her or something. Like, there's got to be something more than a base. Brick, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's like an official tease, but I do think that Catwoman's coming due to this base and due to all the news with Jazzinc, and I mean we've seen Catwoman statues too with Blitzway and Prime 1 and all of that. So it's like, you don't think Hot Toys went and got on that license as quick as they could along with everybody else? Like, I think, and with this base, it kind of just one step closer to getting that Catwoman announcement. So I see her coming. Hopefully we get that announcement soon. Hopefully it's part of the 85 anniversary, which would make a lot of sense to kind of go in with this line and have all of them, if they do Catwoman and Penguin all lined up with 85 years. But it's cool seeing this wingspan come with this Batman as well. Something very similar, if not the same thing, with Modern Suit we saw it with. So it's cool. I don't know if they're going to be doing it with every Batman, but speaking of that base, I mean, we saw, I think somebody put in the comments, and it's true, like we saw Dr. Doom's base, very like the exact same base. And I don't know if you're just going to be able to switch off the corner of the base for each figure, but it's weird that it's Marvel and DC, that it's not like the new DC base. It's like it goes into like another multiverse, like another universe, really. So kind of interesting to see that with Marvel and DC. But yeah, I'm excited for this figure. I'm going to be getting it, even though I have the 89. But Returns is my favorite Batman, so I have to get this figure.
Yeah,
Great.
and no more asked the question, like, is this like Chrome Mando for y'all? So we just got the 2.0 Mando in the Beskar, and then they shortly after that they announced the Chrome version, which pissed a lot of people off. To me, this is different. I didn't even really think about that. The only thing I thought of was people are a little upset with 89, so why wouldn't you wait a little longer so they don't cancel their pre-orders? But like, it doesn't upset me at all that they do it this close, because I don't know, it's just so different for me. Maybe because, like DLO said, we're just Batman fans, so it doesn't really matter. It's a different movie. It's a different version of Keaton Batman. So it's just good to get all the Keatons that we can get. So I don't know. Anybody else think differently on that, with like comparing it to like the Mandalorian?
Yeah, I think I put it in Star Wars terms here. Like, I start throw it back at you. So I mean, if it was let's say we'll use Steve's favorite guy. We'll use Obi-Wan. If it was an Obi-Wan figure from Episode 3 that was released, and then they announced a new Obi-Wan for the New Hope, I mean, does that make a difference to you there? It's the same character technically, but different appearance, different look.
Yeah,
If
I think
it speaks to you, then it's acceptable. But Mando is just like, it was a carbon copy, but an improvement That's
We're making it chrome.
probably a
And better.
unique situation there. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I see what Nomar's trying to say.
No, I get it. Irish Knight says, question for you all. For my first Hot Toys 1/6 figure, you think Returns 2.0 or Terminator 2, the DX, I think he means DX13 2.0, right? Is a better buy.
Possibly. Yeah, because that doesn't exist yet. So
Yeah, like if you
Mr.
could have,
13.
like if you could afford one, which would you guys pick? Unfortunately, Irish Knight, I do appreciate the question, but unfortunately, you're the only one that can really answer that. I always go with what means more to you. What do you love more? And if it's, I get it. Sometimes it's really close, but I don't know. Do you guys have any advice for Irish Knight here on this one? I know it can be a tough decision.
I mean, if he's asking like personally, like what we would pick, or if he's asking for advice, I don't want to give you advice, but the figure that I would pick is Batman, because like Graham said, it does mean more to me, especially Returns. So I would definitely pick Batman Returns, but I know there's a lot of people out there that Terminator means a lot to them. So
Right.
Yeah.
God, that Terminator is such a badass figure. But yeah, if this is your first figure, you obviously don't have 89 or anything like that. So it's almost like I would almost have to just go Batman Returns, I think, as well. Even though that Terminator is so sweet. One of the best figures ever.
yeah, it's really cool.
Steve, you got any thoughts on that? I see you nodding your head.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Like I feel like if I had 89, then I might pick potentially like go Terminator. If you only could pick one Batman, I feel like it might be nice to have like another representation or a different represented character in your collection. Like, you know, if you really just had 89 in your collection, but if it's just strictly between those two, I would go Batman.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So-
It's kind of, there's no answer to that one there. I
Yeah,
think
there's no
that-
answer. It's tough,
tough.
man.
It is
It's
a tough
tough.
spot to be in.
Everybody's so different for it.
This is where collect where your love comes from and get both come from.
Yeah.
Those-
I mean,
That's
pretty
why you
much.
get those
I
answers.
get both.
Because yeah,
Everybody's gonna give you a different answer.
do your research and flip a coin. Good luck.
Can I say one more thing about that base, Graham?
Yeah.
So the question for me is, if let's say they make a Catwoman, they announce a Catwoman, is a base like this going to be good enough as a deluxe when we're seeing Jazzinc with the hell here and all of that? Because that's what I'm hoping for. Now, do you think that they put both of these in here for the Batman so that we could switch it for Catwoman and Catwoman have her own base, but if it's too big, you can put her on this? You know what I mean? Like, and that's why he has two options, or, you know, like, I just feel like would this base be enough for a Catwoman to you guys, basically?
I don't like this base at all. This is not a base that I'm happy with. I like the base to be low in the front and then have more of a backdrop, because I feel like the front of it is going to cover up part of the figure. I just don't like not seeing the whole figure, even though it's just the feet and maybe to the upper shin. I don't know. It just bothers me with that. Like, I just want to see. I don't want the figure to be hidden by the base. I want the base to kind of wrap around the figure and just tell the story, you know, behind it. So I get why they're doing this, but it's just not my favorite. I don't like hate it or anything like that. It's just not something that I would have chosen to do. But I do think if they do make Catwoman, I do think they could slap this base on her as well, just like they did with the Dark Knight Catwoman and then Bane, like where they're both sharing the base, because it's kind of works for both. And Hot Toys, no offense, I mean, they'll be lazy if they can afford to be and reuse parts. So I do think if she comes out, you could probably expect a base similar to this. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't think anything is gonna stop Hot Toys from, like, if they do this, like, why wouldn't they do a Hell Here diorama? Like, look what they did for the Arthur Fleck Joker. They pretty much put like the stage on there, the chair. Like, I don't think they really care too much about replicating if they like go all out on that figure. And I feel like they're probably, like, you think about, I guess like the one I think about is InArt. Like, that kind of made Hot Toys step up their game when it came to the figures that they were doing to kind of match what InArt was doing. Like even the Batman, right? Like they made changes, they updated things. So like I could see Hot Toys doing something very similar to Jazzinc and trying to undercut them, like price wise too. You know what I mean? Or just doing one figure. Hey, you get one figure. Here's your diorama base with one figure that's somewhat similar to that. And doing, you know, doing something to that effect. I feel like it could be something that's similar, but I could also see Hot Toys doing exactly what you said of giving this exact base.
It's so hard. That's why, like,
so
Brick is like, I think Catwoman's coming. I don't even want
Yeah.
to say yes or no because
Yeah.
I just have no freaking clue.
and I think in this, that's kind of, and yeah, kind of like Brick, like I feel like that's kind of my point about this base is like, I feel like Hot Toys would do something beyond this, like given the Jazzinc situation, like they are going to want like you to buy from them. So like for them to just do that figure and then just like use, like just replace it with this same exact base. And my question would be like, well, why is the base included with this figure in the first place too? Sure. You know what I mean? So I feel like when they come out with Catwoman, they got to match like the energy of Jazzinc as far as what's coming out to,
for sure.
try to, at least that's my gut feeling of what's going to happen based on what they've done in the short past. Like we're not talking about, we don't have a lot to compare to, I guess. It's more just like these couple of InArt figures, but I would think and hope that Hot Toys would do a little bit more than just like, you know, do this base given what the Jazzinc situation is, but could be completely wrong.
Sure. Any other thoughts about the base before we move on to that head sculpt?
If they do it, they're going to definitely recycle it. This is going to be modular. This feels like if you were going to do something like, say, and kind of on par with like when they did Justice League, when they made the ramp and you can kind of like put them all together, so to speak. And then you kind of have your own like kind of display situation with that there. I think that's going to be very similar to this. I mean, when you bring up the point about Catwoman itself, I mean, yeah, I mean, the whole cat statue piece that you can interchange with here, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. So this is all speculation. This can all just lead to a road of just like
sadness.
Well, not just sadness, but obviously disappointment. And it's more of just a strategy where they're saying like teasing, well, we might make it so that way you don't buy something else, right? So, you know, a la the Batmobile, and then Jazzinc makes the 2022 Batmobile. So I mean, it's always possible that this is a throw-in just to like, you know, keep everybody at bay. But as far as if they do go this route, I think they're all going to get the same base. I think if they make a Penguin, it'll get the same base as well too, and maybe it'll have like a different.
He couldn't get to the rooftop.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's just like it could be.
Take his umbrella up there.
Right, that's
just
true.
be kind of like the way the Dark Knight is, like Bane's getting the same base as Catwoman, stuff like just stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's a good point.
So it just might be a placeholder for everybody. But I think the base, I agree with you, Graham. I don't like it as much as other bases. I still leaves a lot to be desired. I think this is probably like a sacrifice that they made just so you can do the wing spread out look there. And that might be the reason why we got this style of base.
It's just like all the other like diorama bases they've been doing too. You're just like, you don't have a lot of room to do much with it. Like he's just going to be standing there, like a pretty narrow area to stand. So it's just interesting choice. But also one other figure I forgot about too, about Batman 85 that's been kind of rumored with this kind of checklist that's been going around is Scarecrow with the Murphy head sculpt. I know they're talking about potentially doing that, right? Like that's been rumored for a little bit of time.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Just wanted to bring that up real quick.
So that'd be interesting because that's more Batman Begins, and they just don't really touch Batman Begins. So
true.
They do that, then
they
it's
do.
like
They hit it with the ugly stick.
right, they do exactly. And then it just feels like, okay, well, does that mean Batman Begins is back on the table again? You know, and
Yes.
you know, so I mean that's always a
Yes.
possibility too. But
Yeah.
if they go that route, like if you're gonna give me Scarecrow, which I would totally be on board with, like I want a Ra's al Ghul. Like that needs to happen.
that'd be dope.
I started watching Batman Begins again last night.
So good.
So damn good.
Amazing, honestly.
Le-
So that's
like-
probably the most underrated Batman film.
It is hands down. No, hands down. It is the best. I want to be very clear about Batman movie because I don't count all the other ones as Batman centric movies. Dark Knight, great film. It's a Joker film, right? So I feel like Batman always gets pushed aside in his own movies. Batman Begins is a true Batman movie for sure. But yeah, like I was just enthralled with like how his origin starts over again, as far as like
Really?
going to the League of Shadows, you know, training, fighting on the ice with Ra's al Ghul. I completely forget about those great
I love
moments
that
like
scene.
there.
It's a good
Yeah,
scene.
and it's just like, man, if we
Yeah,
can get
God.
some stuff like that, like a ninja outfit Ra's al Ghul, that would be sick. Something like
Yeah.
that would be awesome. So
I've seen
I
some
think-
good customs of that figure too. Looks really good.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, they've done Qui-Gon. I mean, you got the head sculpt.
Yep.
It's practically there, right?
I was literally just gonna say, watch them do a Ra's al Ghul, and then they'll just take that head sculpt and turn it into a Qui-Gon, or
Hey,
vice
if we
versa.
both get what we want, I'm down.
Same
for
exact
that. You know
thing.
what I mean?
That's the first thing that popped in my mind was like, oh, they're gonna use the same head sculpt on Qui-Gon. They're gonna do like the Natalie Portman, like with Padme and
Mighty Thor.
Mighty Thor. Yep. Could see it happening.
Oh boy, the younger kids are in the chat. Isn't it weird that the Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy is already like old?
It's insane. It really
know.
is.
Yeah.
Find myself saying back in my day more and more every day.
Batman Returns. It's like
Yeah.
it's forgotten. So, but
Listen.
I'll let you answer that one. Go ahead.
Listen, if it wasn't for Batman Begins, there will not be the Batman. We'll put it to you like that. Batman Begins saved Batman in film. Period. You can't take it away from that. That movie is a legend. Sorry.
It's been goated.
It's been goated. It is. You got to remember, we went from Batman Forever and Bat Nipples to Batman Begins. Like,
Well, and then Batman and Robin with the credit card.
oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say Batman and Robin. I beg your pardon. Batman and Robin with that atrocious movie with George Clooney.
Plain
I
hot.
started
You
watching.
never
I
forget.
started watching that today.
You know,
It's bad.
I can never watch a George Clooney movie after that. Like, I couldn't even finish Ocean's 11 or any of those other movies ever.
I
I
freeze.
just
I'm Batman.
That's the problem with George Clooney is he's George Clooney as Bruce Wayne and he's George Clooney as Batman. Like
Same
they're not
yeah.
different. It's just, yeah.
there isn't. It's just, yeah, whatever. But my point is, if it wasn't for Batman Begins, there would not be a Ben Affleck to like. There's not a Christian. I mean, Christian Bale, obviously. He him and Christopher Nolan truly saved Batman in film. So, like, yeah, you
You're making
can
me wanna
never.
watch that trilogy again.
You can't talk about any other Batman or any other Batman movie without bringing up Batman Begins first. That's my opinion.
That's one
don't-
trilogy I'd love to watch for the first time again.
Man, and like Star Wars and the Dark Knight trilogy are like my two favorite trilogies. But I never got to see Star Wars in the theater, and like I can say like I got to see all those Batman films in the theater, so that was like pretty cool to experience as well. Man, we could talk about Batman all night, but we got a lot of stuff to cover
So
on this
much,
show. So
yeah.
let's finish up with the head sculpt here, the Michael Keaton head sculpt. What do you guys think about this? And before you go, Jazzy wants to know, is the head sculpt detachable or is this glued to the cowl? What do you guys think? I would assume it's detachable.
I would think so.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Detachable.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a pain to move the eyes by having that much depth to the hole. Like you'd have to go. You need a longer eye moving tool if it was if it was cowl.
But then again, it's not much different than 89. It's pretty much the same. You got to go up
That's a
through the
good point.
neck. So,
That's a good point.
but I think you're right though. I don't think it's glued. Thoughts though? Thoughts on the Keaton likeness? Problems with it? Enjoying it? Love it? 10 out of 10. Better than Flash, Batman?
Looks great.
Going through your head.
Solid, man. No complaints. It's
Is it a new
definitely
sculpt or is it
better.
a newly refined sculpt?
I think they're all refined at this point here, but it looks like a new sculpt here. Yeah, the other one has more.
It looks significantly better than the old one.
No,
Yeah,
it
it
does.
does.
It
Yeah.
does.
Does.
It makes the old one look a little bit more cartoonish, if I'm being honest, because Keaton has very distinct like eyebrows, and that's really the first thing you notice on the 1.0. He has like these very whiskery kind of eyebrows about him here. It's very cat-like, so it's a bit exaggerated, but this one toned it down a little bit more, and it looks more natural to what Keaton looked like back then. So yeah, I love it. I think they knocked it out the park.
Rick, are you going to be... So you have 89.
Yep.
Are you going to be posing this one with the Keaton likeness, or do you have to have cowl on?
I mean, not that I dislike this sculpt or anything, because I think it looks really good, but I would have to have the cowl on.
That's tough. Tough with
Yeah.
Batman to have cowl off.
Yep,
Cowl goes.
it
off.
is tough. I just want a Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
another 2-pack or something like Dilo was talking about. Would be
You should think about investing in that Myers Toys Wayne. It's a really good figure for what it is.
Yeah, it is.
You could swap the head sculpt. It's so cheap too.
was it like 175, 185, something like that?
with
Yeah,
shipping?
Okay.
No tax.
Yeah,
160.
I've been saying for years, Hot Toys has been missing the boat on 2-packs when it comes to this. Like, in my opinion, Spider-Man should always come with a Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Superman should always come with a Clark Kent, and Batman should always come with Bruce Wayne. Like, their characters are almost as popular as their alter egos.
Well, if they're afraid to lose money, why can't they do like a timed exclusive with 2-packs? You know, so that they know how many to make or whatever.
Very
Yeah,
true.
those three that you mentioned are on the Mount Rushmore of comic book heroes. Like,
Sure.
it's not like you're doing it with, some Peacemaker or anything like that.
Right,
This
right.
is Batman. This is Spider-Man. This is Superman. These are like the iconic
Yeah.
characters.
Yep.
Well, it's
I would say
frustrating though, is like-
Iron Man's up there too.
Captain America
These days.
has a 2-pack like that. He's got a Steve Rogers and
Really?
Civil War, Winter Soldier. They did a 2-pack for him. So, yeah, I mean, they've done it for Steve Rogers. They've never done it for Iron Man, at least in my knowledge. I mean, I've known they've done a separate Tony Stark figure by himself, but never included as a 2-pack for Iron Man. I don't know.
Dude,
it just
I would love a Peter Parker, even if it was Tom Holland. Just
You absolutely
Peter
have to have
Parker would be
like it just feels like it's such a missed opportunity. Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man is one of the most famous, if not the most famous superheroes in the world. How do you not include a Peter Parker? Or at least make it once. You know what I mean? Whether it be Toby or Andrew or Tom, like you said. It just seems like it's a blown opportunity, but I don't know. That's just my
It
2
would
cents
sell.
about it.
It would sell perfectly fine.
I think
Oh, yeah.
so.
So I closed this poll. We only had 36 votes, so guys, make sure you're voting. But I said, knowing what we know now about both Batman figures, like we've seen this 2.0, a lot of people have the 89 in hand or have seen videos. So now seeing this and knowing what we know, which would you pick up? 72% said Batman Returns. Only 27% said 89. If you guys had to choose one, you can only get one. Which one would it be? Now, I'll go first. For me, take into consideration the nostalgia of 89 Batman. Possibly this 92 version may look better, and it comes with the Wayne sculpt and all that. But 89 also comes with that awesome diorama base.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
For me, though, the nostalgia just kicks in. And like I said in the beginning of the show, I don't know if it just blinds me because I just love 89 Batman so much. But I just think the figure is great. Like, you guys know, I was saying in the chat, I was nervous about what I would think about it. But I love it. So if I had to choose one, I'm getting both. But if I had to choose one, it would be 89. What about you guys? I'll just go down the list here. Actually go up. I'll start with Sneaker here. If you got to choose one, I know you're newer to the older movies, so you might not have that nostalgia built in, so it might be different for you.
I'd probably go like OG. I'd probably go 89. Yeah.
Does that mean more to you in general? Like just having the first rendition of a character?
Not necessarily. But in this case, it just like, it's, I don't know exactly. I feel like just in this case, it's just like seeing, I think there's some weight to like seeing a character for the first time and like their, versus a sequel. But then again, I think, the reason I hesitate is because it's like Darth Vader too. Like, I don't know if I'm going to pick a New Hope version over, some of these other ones that we have. So, but in this case, I would go 89. It's actually like interesting. I know the 89 Hot Toys one recently, I know there's like some gripes with the suit, but it was weird. Like when I first saw the 92 suit, like I didn't really like how like the abs looked initially. But I think the suit like looks
this?
Like I didn't really like when I
in the
first
movie when you saw it.
just like the design of it and I feel like it's just like it just looks different than like the original suit. Like just with like kind of the aesthetics of it and the design, even though it still looks really good, but I would go OG.
DLO, you know, in one way they look a lot alike, but in another way these suits are really, really different. Like Sneaker was kind of saying here, and you know, one's textured, one's smooth, one's more animalistic, and the other's more refined and whatnot. Which one would you pick if you could only pick one?
Yeah, it's a tough question. That's like picking one of your favorite kids again. Like, you know, we always talk about here. So that's hard to say. Man, I think honestly, unpopular opinion here, but I'd probably lean more 92. Now, I love 89 more. Like, let me be clear. The movie 89, I mean, it trumps 92. But I feel like from a collecting perspective, if I can only have one, I want the most refined version of that character I can find, right? The one that's going to represent them all, if you will. So I'd probably lean more towards 92 because I just feel like out of the two suits overall, I feel like that's probably the one that fits the bill of being ultimate Michael Keaton if I was just looking for that version of Batman. So
Sure.
I'd go 92.
All right. And Rick, I know you're a big Keaton fan, but I also know you love Returns, and it's one of, if not your favorite Batman movie. So curious to see where you land on this one.
I'd go by right.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. Perfect timing. So, you know, I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, Returns is my favorite Batman movie, but 89 comes with that base, and I really like that base, and you know, I love 89 and that first, you know, version of Michael Keaton. But then I started thinking, I'm like, okay, we are getting Catwoman no matter what with Jazzinc, and a Penguin with Jazzinc, whether Hot Toys does it or not. And I just think that the Returns Batman would go better with those figures no matter what. And yeah, I think I would choose Returns because of that.
Okay.
Knowing that we have future figures coming.
So we're very split, and I like that. I like seeing that it's split and that, you know, it's not just one-sided and whatnot. So, and I can get behind all of your guys' answers because both figures, frankly, look amazing and are awesome. So, okay, let me catch up here, and we got Tristan in the house. We got Collector Joey, which I may have to scroll up a little too far. Here he is. We got Collector Joey joining us tonight. Hello. And a couple more people that are dropping by. How you figure? Channel member.
Yes.
You need the landlord from Spider-Man 2.
100%.
We also have
And his daughter.
in the box.
Where's
Hello,
Rent?
What's going on, Ricardo? Being here tonight. Appreciate you dropping in, saying hi. Thrawn's office says 89, no doubt. That was the movie that changed it all. Plus, it's cooler. We got Jerry Gonzalez in the house too. Hello, guys. Who's picking up all three Batman Keaton figures? 89, Batman Returns, modern suit. Good question. Anybody on the panel picking up all three?
I am.
I still have to get a modern suit, but eventually I will get a modern suit, yes.
I pre-ordered modern suit, canceled it because some of this other stuff that was coming, but I am going to be getting it.
Yeah.
Just not sure when or where. But I've just
ground figures.
No, I might. I should shout it out so I can get some points. But no, I mean the movie kind of fell off. Like it was fun at first, then it kind of fell off for me. But Keaton's really just, as much as he's already been the OG for me, he's even grown that much more on me over the last year, 2 years since the Flash movie. Like I don't know. Like, and then like even seeing him in Beetlejuice, like I think it's more of Keaton.
Yeah.
Keaton as an actor and as a person too. Like seeing him in Beetlejuice too, and just all this stuff that he does, it just makes you almost admire Batman even more. So it's really interesting. Okay, so let's keep moving here because that took a lot of time, but that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that conversation. Jazzinc, switching over to them again. So they are showing some prototype photos of their sitting Batman, which it looks a little goofy if he's just kind of sitting on a table here, but he's meant to be in the Batmobile or in the Batwing. So they did price this out, and it's going to be. It just looks funny. It's going to come with like a top half cape, so it'll cut off midsection. You'll have that as well, but this is going to be $175, and that's without shipping. And I want to know, because for me personally, I feel like this is overkill for me to get this in my collection for the price I'm paying. I'd rather just put that money towards a figure I really want and have Batman standing outside the Batmobile. I also, and again, this is the prototype, I don't think he looks the most natural. Like, he's kind of looking up, he looks stiff. You could do this with an old 89 figure and maybe damage the suit, but you could still do this. I don't know. To me, it just seems like it's not worth the money, but I want to know what you guys think before we move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I think it's not for me. I think it looks a little goofy. I understand it's for a vehicle. I do not have a vehicle, but even if
could you justify getting this without a vehicle?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I could have him sitting on, I don't know. I could have him sitting on the Deadpool couch. But no, I could not justify that. But even if I had a Batmobile, I wouldn't. I'm like you, Graham. I'd rather just have, for the price and everything, just have my Batman standing outside. And yeah, just no, I'm good.
DLO, something I do like though is you can kind of see like the 5 o'clock shadow that he kind of had towards the end of the movie there, which the detail in the face looks pretty good, and I think the likeness looks really good. But is this something you'd get for your Batmobile?
I would definitely consider it. I wouldn't write this off at all. The way I see this here is, this is no different than an accessory, right? No different if you were a Star Wars fan and you decided to get one of those CCFL lightsabers and stuff like that you guys always talk about. I mean, for someone who doesn't want to damage their even more expensive Batman that they just got, but you want something in your Batmobile, because the Batmobile, for the most part, Batman's driving it. Every once in a while, it drives itself, right? So why not just spend an extra $175 and get this here? It's not pretending to be anything than what it is. Like, let's be fair.
I like the idea of it.
Right. And you figure it doesn't have to look the absolute best, it just needs to fit and look serviceable. So I think if you wanted to go all in, get it. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. Is it priced high? I think it's priced where it should be, because it's niche. So I say if you want it to put in your Batwing from Jazzinc, or your Batmobile, or even your Hot Toys Batmobile, why not? That's my feelings on it. Just simply, why not?
Sure.
You want it, go for it. Simple as that.
Sneaker, you getting this for your Batmobile?
I don't know. It's like, it's tough because like they're gonna announce the Jazzinc Catwoman pre-order on the same day as this. So like that kind of makes it tough too, because that's $175 maybe you could put towards Catwoman if that's a figure that you want to get at the same exact time. So that kind of makes it a little bit tough. But yeah, DLO makes a good point about it being like, you buy accessories and you buy stuff for other things, and like this is a vehicle we're talking about. And like I think about, you're showing this vehicle to people. This isn't a huge deal, but I think there's something cool about like having a collectible too, where you're like showing it to somebody and you're like, oh, you open it up and it's like, oh, look, there's actually like Batman sitting in here too. I feel like that's cool, man. I feel like that's just something cool. Is it $175 cool? That's up to you. That's up to you. And it's probably not going to be $175 shipped. You're probably going to be paying a little bit more shipped. So you're paying for a figure here, like all said and done. You're probably going to be paying the price of about a figure. Like you said, it's not the fully updated version, right? Like I think he said this is version 1.0 of the head sculpt. I think he's actually like refining the head sculpt too. So it's going to look better. It looks very weird without having like the cape on, but
sure.
I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Like it would be cool to have this in the Batmobile for sure. But also like, I'm not going to have the canopy open. I'm going to have it shut pretty much at all times. So it would literally be, oh yeah, here I can open it up. Look, he's in there. All right, I'm going to close it back up now. That's like, I don't know if that's really worth the price of admission for me.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. It's cool to have. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just saying it's cool
No,
to
you're
have
good.
like it's cool to have this option. Like it's also niche, but like this is a really cool thing to have made. I think just in general to have like a seated figure. You don't have to buy a, and that it is better than buying like a second Hot Toys one to squeeze in there. You know what I mean? Like that is a good option. So I get kind of I'm kind of 50-50 on it.
DLO, did you have something to add?
Yeah, just wanted to acknowledge Jerry Gonzalez here because he makes a good, fair point here. I mean, I think he writes here, I believe for the price that we are paying for the Jazzinc 89, it should be included. I think that's a good idea. I think that's something that, you know, for your supporters there. And again, I'm not trying to spend anybody's money here, so please don't write him and say DLO said this and I think you should do it now. But I think for the price of what you're paying for an 89 Batmobile, that would be a nice gift to give all your supporters there, something for them. I mean, obviously sell it separately to us who don't have it and we want to put it in our Hot Toys one. Please, by all means, don't stop yourself from doing that. But I mean, you know what? If that's something he's willing to do, I think that would be a really nice gesture to his very loyal fan base who buy his stuff. So
I like that a lot. Let me check in with the chat. You guys got some really interesting things you're saying about this. We got Ekwan here. He says, this seated Batman seems pointless. Aren't we all going to put our Hot Toys Batman, which looks so much better, right outside the Batmobile anyway? Yeah, and again, this is the first of the prototype, so this is just kind of the first shots we're getting. It's going to evolve, right, Sneaker, you said?
Yeah, I mean, I know the head sculpt's going to be, like he said, there's going to be a 2.0 with a head sculpt, and then obviously it's going to have the cape on it. I don't know how much more is going to change beyond that.
The chest up on like a little stick, and then you don't even need, and then sell it for like $40, and then, because that's all you're going to see anyway, the arms and...
Don't have
give
like
us
the
half
second
legs.
half. Don't have second half of his body in there.
We got Big Rib joining us tonight. What's going on, my friend? I like this too. It makes the vehicle look like a toy rather than a museum piece or model. That's actually an interesting take on it as well. That it actually kind of, because it doesn't look natural to me. I don't know, just kind of interesting. But this is interesting too from Batman Collectibles. I was telling Sneaker, I've never displayed my Batmobile with canopy open. Don't see the point if that's how it's always displayed. That's true too. Like I've thought about having my canopy open, and I don't like the look of it. I just want it to be closed because it just looks sleek.
So you want to pay over $175 to have something that you're not looking at? That's tough.
Exactly.
That's tough, man. You put it that way. That's why I'm kind of torn on that.
Batwing is different.
Yeah, the Batwing is different. That is like Batwing. I feel like would be more justified.
And I'm jealous of X-Man for saying this comment that he's thinking about getting this for his Batwing, because if I could have gotten a Batwing, I would have, but not in the cards. We got a new channel member. It's Kevin. Welcome to the Jedi Knights Watch channel member. I do appreciate you taking that extra step to support the channel. And let me see what I have for you. Outside of the new emojis, early video releases, shout outs in videos, and some member giveaways, but I also have a cheers for you.
Cheers. Cheers. To Wolfpack, to Collector Zone, to you guys. Cheers.
Thanks for all the support, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and welcome to the watch. And Ben has a good question. Will it fit in the Hot Toys one? Maybe this has been answered. Yes, it will fit in the Hot Toys version as well. So it is not just exclusive for Jazzinc, which is a nice thing too. Hedrick wants to know how much I've spent on lightsabers. I've purchased 3 of them, and they're about $130 shipped each. So let you do the math. I've only gotten 3. Because they are expensive, they do really make the figure kind of pop and look more authentic and real. But I can also understand the price is very high, so it's kind of just one, and one here, maybe one there, and that's about it. So I do have 4, and 1 I got with the Darth Vader that I purchased. So I've purchased myself 3. Yeah, same concept. All right. Big Rib says, I think it fits better for the Batwing. How many of those bat wings did they make? Not many, right?
I
Like
don't know.
500,
Gosh, I don't know.
if that.
I can't imagine.
Mm.
All right. Well, let's move along. Let's go up and get to the newer stuff here. Is it the deluxe? Spider-Man figure.
That's the deluxe right here. Yep.
Okay. So, out of freaking nowhere, Hot Toys just randomly announces the Amazing Spider-Man figure. So, from the first movie with Garfield. And this one's tempting for me because I don't have a Garfield figure. Thought about getting the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but was sold out. And I don't know if it's something I really need, but Rick, I want you to look at this figure. Tell me what your thoughts are and talk me into this giraffe neck Spider-Man.
Well, it's Garfield, so that should be good enough. But I mean, comes to the camera, you know. To me, this is my favorite Spidey suit in all the movies. Honestly, it still looks like you have that neck seam there, which is kind of a down.
Does his neck look very long here? Is it just the
It
angle?
does. It does. Yeah. Yeah. His head looks big. You know, but then
Head
I
looks long,
was
too.
kind of looking at photos from the movie, and I saw a big head with a small body from the movies, and I honestly think it's just the hair. It's the hair. His hair is flipped up, made his head look bigger.
All right.
But dude, the skateboard is literally all I need with this figure. If it didn't come with a skateboard, this might have been a pass for me. Because I
Really?
just got it. Yeah, I just got it.
Dude,
It's my favorite suit. Yeah, but I just got a Garfield. I mean, maybe not it probably be like a 50-50, honestly. I mean, but then you see the camera, you know, you see the base, you see the skateboard, and the skateboard's like a big I really want this figure now because of that. I know it's just a small accessory. I could probably get that separate and whatnot, but then here we are with some battle damage, and that also got me. So yeah, this will be coming home. I think this is a must. I think if you're going to get a Garfield, this is the one you should probably get. I was more of a fan of the second Amazing Spider-Man movie, which many people were more of a fan of the first one. I just thought the second film had a lot more going for it personally. But yeah, I think this is the best suit. It reminds me of the that one scene in the night, you know, when he's like, you know, you got the moon, he's swinging in through like with the moon in the background and everything like that, or when he's like when he does like that sneeze, you know what I mean? And he puts that guy up against the wall. Like that scene was pretty badass. And yeah, it's definitely a Spider-Man you need to get. And I like the what's this like web effect stuff? Did you guys see that? Like there's some like yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's different. So yeah, definitely gonna get this Spider-Man. Hopefully it comes up on pre-order soon, so I know the price. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Doesn't matter.
Huh?
Price don't
It
matter.
doesn't. It doesn't matter, but it's still nice to know. But how tall that thing's gonna be tall?
What
That
do you guys
base.
think of this base?
My goodness. I don't.
Huge, man. 20 inches tall.
Yeah, I don't need that base. It's cool.
Sadness.
it looks
I
fragile.
do like
Looks
that. It
it'll
like
break.
the lights flicker on it, which is cool.
It's a cool base.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, where the
Does it
hell
come
am I
with the
gonna
normal
put that?
base too?
Probably
doubt it.
not. That's
Never
not how
does.
this
Well,
works.
only did once, and that was with the Batman. But I mean, you could do a lot of cool stuff with that base if you're, you know, not afraid to mess with the
Ooh.
Spidey suit. But
Skateboard straps.
yeah, isn't that
Wow.
cool? Sweet. And that was another cool scene in the movie
There is
too.
no other base. Oh man, this is it.
That's it. That was another cool scene in the movie too, when he was skateboarding and all that. But again, we need a Peter Parker. Need a Peter Parker.
Parker, is this really 20 inches?
No, I was just guesstimating.
Okay, I was gonna say that's gonna be a problem.
I mean,
if you look at the
be.
figure, go back to like the base photo, because if you look at the figure, it's 12. Like we're probably pushing 20.
this thing looks taller than.
Look at
the
that.
new
We're
Venom
probably.
coming
Oh,
out.
I bet you it's 20. I'm gonna look it up right now on the SciShow.
Yeah, look it up. If chat knows, let us know.
It's a damn thing.
DLO, you getting this?
No, afraid not. I
You're
love
not a
the
big Garfield
I love
fan,
No.
right?
No, that's not true. I don't like the suit. I think the perfect Spider-Man suit is actually in Part 2. Amazing Spider-Man Part 2. That's my favorite suit. So
Good suit.
yeah. Plus, I didn't really care for this movie so much because it felt like such a rehash of like Spider-Man 1. So for Toby's, that is. So for me, it's just like I didn't really care for this movie. I think Part 2 was better for me. But you know, yeah. And listen, I know it's just for me. You got to remember, like we got Garfield so quickly when we were all thinking we were gonna get Spider-Man 4, right? Then suddenly Toby's out, Andrew's in. They do a new movie. They do this suit. It's a retelling of the first movie. So it's just like, what's the point of doing this one? It just, for me, it's just like, it was a miss for me here. So I think the figure, we're talking just figure alone, perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think they nailed this figure. I think the suit, the texture looks fantastic. And the head sculpt, yeah, Andrew Garfield has a long neck.
2 feet tall.
He has a long neck. I think his neck is 12 inches long. So, but that's Andrew Garfield. That's how the boy, you know. That's how
It makes me happy to hear that you like the second one better too. So I like those.
For the reasons I just said, right? It's just like there's nothing wrong with the first movie. It's just there's just nothing new about the first movie for me.
Sure.
So, and plus the lizard design, just I hate that. But that's another one. That's one of those King Koopa ones that they called the back then. Remember, like when that movie came out, when they showed you the design for Lizard. That was one.
See, that's what we need though. Is and I'm kind of with you with the Lizard design. I mean, it's not the greatest, but to have a figure of that, not just a base, it'd be cool to have like a Lizard figure.
For sure,
You know,
for sure.
It'd be cool.
Maybe they do it again if they decide to redo the Lizard. I would get that. He needs to have the Doctor lab coat for me. Like that's the Lizard. You can't have it without it. But that's my opinion. But as a figure, as with the head sculpt, flaws. It looks amazing. I'm jealous that my Andrew Garfield didn't come with this head sculpt, but you know, it is what it is. But I think if you're a Spider-Man fan, this is a great offering. It's got some really unique features. The web effecting is pretty cool. I like that. I like the accessories with the backpack, the skateboard. That's very Peter Parker. I dig that. And I do actually like that base, that whatever you want to call that. I think it's nice. Would I use it? Probably not. Probably take up too much room in my display, but it's nice to have. But I mean, overall, I mean, for a Spider-Man figure, I'd say this is probably the best one I've seen. I'll go as far as saying that. Just not for me.
I think if I get this, I'm going standard. I just I don't know what I'm going to do with that base. You know, like you said, nice to have, but if I can't use it, what's the point?
Yeah.
But I do also like the interchangeable eye lenses.
That is
for
nice.
Special edition exclusive. That's pretty cool. But something that was really cool.
Oh, never mind. Gosh, I was reading. I'm so sorry. I was reading through the comments, and you switched over to the deluxe, and I was like, you do get the base. My bad.
Yeah. So, 'cause I wanted to see if it was just the base that was the difference, and it looks like to me that is the only difference between the two. Is just that ginormous diorama base. But something that I really liked about this Spider-Man 2 was the eye lenses and just how the look of them too. And how that you had the yellow or like that dark kind of sunglass look. So I don't know, kind of always liked that.
I like how every Spider-Man's coming with a camera now. We're just seeing it more and more now.
How You Figure has been a channel member for 8 months, and he says Peter Parker Pro Skater. Clinton Martin's in the house. He used the base for Bespin Luke. There you go. Yeah, Bespin Needle. Oh man, you guys are too much. Too much.
Dude, that neck is bad.
It is.
It's not. He looks like that in real life. I mean, what do you want him to do? Shrink his own neck?
It really. Like,
it's distracting.
Would you guys have rather had a
parents? I don't know what to tell you. That's how he looks.
Would you guys have rather had a non-battle damage head sculpt for this?
No.
You want battle damage?
I already got that.
Love you good battle damage.
Yeah, okay.
But it's kind of weird though because the only battle damage is really just his thigh.
That's
Looks
not
like he's got like a
damage.
Kleenex
That's the webbing, isn't it? That's the webbing effect. That's not battle damage. That's
he had an ouchie, so he went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Graham. I need
you.
you.
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I
don't like that.
Graham, I need you to go to a picture.
This should have been
If
artisan.
if I can talk about the figure right now.
Let's see.
if I can talk about- also, I think this, okay, first of all, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. But this special edition for this figure is, in my opinion, what they've given for other stuff, ridiculous, man. Like, you can't add in extra lenses and a flash for the already included camera accessory. You can't just include that. It's a flash for a camera that you're already including, a flash piece. Like, that is just like, that's crazy for a special edition, man. That's crazy. Also, like, aren't these like one of the main lenses that they're including in the special edition? Like,
Should have been a euro.
shouldn't you know, like, isn't this like what lenses would you rather have, the special edition ones or like the ones that come with the figure? What are you going to use like on the figure?
I got to see it in person.
But hold on, go to the mask picture, because this is what really bothers me the most about this figure, man.
Ooh, tell them what bothers you.
Oh,
So it really bothers me.
Which one? What
This
are you
drives me
Grind your
nuts.
gears.
This drives me nuts.
Look at, he's into it. He's really into the skateboarding.
I got this.
I mean,
Just
its form. What is driving nuts here?
keep going. Keep going.
He's gonna
keep
trip
going.
on his neck.
I need you to get a zoom in of. I need you to get a zoom in of the masked head. Okay.
Do it.
Masked
Do
head.
what he says.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh,
Keep going.
he's so mad.
I'll tell you when to stop.
Oh, the longer you take, the madder he gets.
No, that one. Zoom in on this between the eyes.
And hence,
Why can they not make the eye points go symmetrical to where the webs start branching out? Look at the left side versus
Never
the
buy a
right side.
Spider-Man figure again.
Look
Steve.
at the asymmetry of the eyes on the webs, man. Like, that bothers me so much. And it might be a little bit critical, but like, dude, this is just like,
you're
how do
right,
you
Javi.
not, how do you not get that like symmetrical? And look at
You know
also
what's
the
funny?
chin, like look at the chin line too. The
Yeah, I'm
chin
not
line
buying
is
this
off.
piece of shit. It's not doing it.
what the hell was I
Wait,
thinking?
though.
Best
Yeah.
Spider-Man,
Hold on,
get
hold on.
this
Another
outta
thing.
here.
Another thing. Look at the chin line. Look at the web line on the web lining on the chin. It's like on a slant, as opposed to the other side. You guys can all leave.
Hold on.
It's okay. It's okay. But like, does this not bother anybody else that the lenses still aren't the right orientation? Like, you think they would have learned this with Toby from No Way Home, because they literally did a whole second batch because the lenses weren't right, that they had to redo the lenses. So like, I feel like in this case, this would have been a situation where they could have fixed the lens orientation a little bit to change it to be more accurate and made it so like the point in the center is symmetrical. Like, that just bothers me, man. This bothers me. It bothers me when they don't get like the symmetry of that point right. But otherwise, the figure looks cool, man.
Bother me.
No,
Otherwise, the figure looks cool.
I see that shit. I wouldn't ever see, because I'm not
No.
like I'm a
Oh, dude, this bothers me,
casual
man.
Spider-Man fan. So like, I wouldn't even notice that shit. But now that you pointed out, it bothers the hell out of me.
Yeah, look at the you see what it is a
yeah,
it is
I
a
see it
noticeable
now.
difference.
I've seen it.
This is
It's a notable
silly.
difference, man.
But the thing is, we talk all the time on how Hot Toys can't get Batman right, and they kind of shaft Batman. Do you think that's the same for Spider-Man too? Not Spider-Man TOO, Spider-Man as well.
Well,
Yeah,
they've
I
done
don't-
some
I don't-
good
I don't
Spider-Man
think-
figures though too.
Well,
No,
they've
they
done
have.
some good
I think
practice.
they've done some
Always
good
a lot
Tom
of
Holland figures,
more-
but I don't
I
know
guess
if they've done
more-
a good Toby or Andrew Garfield yet.
It's more quality control issues, I guess, with Spider-Man. Like just shit not lining up.
It's just,
or-
yeah, it's QC issues for sure. Like
Yeah.
missing web, like broke web lines, not symmetrical orientation. Like if you look at the figure, if you look at the pictures from the movie, like there's a difference for sure with how the lenses are lined up and just the center of the, like, I see the center of the eye. You can see the open patch on one side versus the other. It's just more open. It doesn't look right when you're talking about how his suit looks. And like we talk also, I'll say, like, I'm being critical of this, but also a lot of people really like the masks on Spider-Man figures. You know what I mean? So for me, like this happened to my Toby figure. Like my Toby figure, the eyes are, one web line is way closer to one eye and it's way farther away from the other line. It's like not lined up correctly. It bothers me, man.
Can I just say something about that, Steve?
Bothers me.
Like, I get what you're saying.
No.
No, but hear me out. Hear me out.
Wrong.
I'll hear you out, man. I'll die on this hill, bro.
I know you're dying. I'm trying to save you, buddy.
No,
trying to-
you
so-
won't.
I mean, don't we all
not gonna
have?
save me.
Don't we all have like a preference as far as our faces are concerned. Like hey, take a photo of me. This is my good side. Like, I mean,
No,
is it possible
no,
that
get
this
that out
ninja
of here.
just doesn't have a symmetrical face to your
Sadness.
liking, and you just
Sadness.
You don't hate the mask. I think you just hate Andrew Garfield's face. You said it's something about his neck. Now it's
No, I never said. I didn't point out his
It
neck.
could be
I
his
didn't point out
hair.
his neck. That
It
wasn't
could be
me.
his hair inside of his
Yeah,
mask, lifting up the one side just a little bit more.
yeah, he's not wearing
Oh
a
my
cap underneath
God.
that.
Nothing
bad boy.
about his neck.
All that hair and all
The
that.
hair is
product.
just pushing it up a little bit on one side.
All right, but you got to look. But it's where it's still.
Very realistic.
Hold on.
he's
It would.
making a
Hold
face
on a
clear
second.
there.
Hold on a second. Hold on. If that, from a perspective of if it was what was going on under the mask would stretch. It wouldn't be asymmetrical. It would stretch, guys. This is physics.
Like this.
What if the mask
It's like
is
his
too
neck.
small,
It would stretch.
and it's just like it's
All
as
right,
far as it can go,
Guys, in all seriousness, this is my frustrations boiling over with what I've dealt with in every Spider-Man figure that I bought. I have
You do
yet
have
to
bad
buy a single Spider-Man figure that has not been
You
damaged
do have bad luck. I will give you
or
that.
a problem with it. So like, and then when I see
Shit,
this,
like I would never even see.
when I see this, it's just like that was the first thing that was like. I mean, everything else looks great on the figure. I think everything else looks great. I agree too. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the suit. Just like my personal preference, I'm not a huge fan of the Garfield suit. But yeah, man, I can't get over the some of these issues, man.
He does look kind of Gumby like. Like I will say
I
that.
can't even
But-
right now.
But he did
I
kind of.
just don't like it, man. It bothers the hell out of me. And then you know what? You know what else bothers me? And then you see a bunch of pictures of it, and all the other ones but yours are right. Looks normal, and you just look at yours, and that shit's wrong, man. Why me? Why me?
Dude, these comments have me dying.
This one is hilarious because I can just hear it in my head. From Iron Man. Scraps. Oh,
Am I the only one
good.
that thinks this?
Yes.
You know?
I wouldn't have seen it. Yeah, I would not have
Yeah.
seen it.
Okay, so what?
Ruining
But
it.
now that you do see it, like
I'm
it's
out.
something that bothers you, though.
A little.
Man, it bothers
Have
me.
I spread to you yet?
I'm out. They got to fix the neck.
The neck does
They-
bother me.
What
Like,
is wrong with you guys in this neck here? Someone
this.
doesn't fall-
Well, in that
Where-
picture,
where-
some of the
where-
other pictures, it doesn't
one.
look as bad.
For one, where does the neck even start?
he's got
Like,
He's
you
got
would
no
think it would
shoulders.
start where the collar is, which,
nothing.
you know, but then it has like this, which extends his neck. It's got like a neck extension or something. It's
Graham, Google Andrew Garfield for a second. The man
his
has
head
a
is
long neck.
his head is big in
He
real
has a
life.
big head for sure.
Yeah,
He's a skinny
yeah.
guy with a big head, no
The
doubt.
neck, I'm not too
How
sure.
about Andrew Garfield
From Amazing
Small-
Spider-Man 1.
long
Amazing
neck.
Spider-Man.
See
I feel
Pop
like his
up.
I feel like his
Long.
hair is like his hair is puffy like that, but I feel like just the nature of it being sculpted makes it look like
Makes it
it's
look
big.
big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like with it being sculpted like that, but
Hot.
I'm more pissed about the mask.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
he's got a long
I mean,
fucking neck.
What is
It
wrong
a
with you guys?
long neck, bro.
What are you guys complaining
That
about?
is accurate. This is accurate. I don't have any gripes with like some of that stuff, man. I just
The
want
most
the
accurate neck I've ever seen.
I just want my mask to be look like it was actually created by Peter Parker himself with the details, okay?
I think for a guy who has never sewn anything in Danny's life, I think that's exactly how Peter Parker would have sewn it. Just my 2 cents. I don't know.
It's not how it looks in the movie though.
CGI, brother. It's CGI. They fix it in post. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh man.
Brick. You got to pick one. You going with this one or the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Oh man, I'm going to the one I already have.
Okay.
The one that's for sure. For sure.
Any
But I
other-
still want to get this figure, but it does have its flaws. And like I said, 50-50 until I saw the skateboard and stuff.
I just see a head sculpt I want. That's all. That's all I see here.
The sculpt looks good.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
buy the sculpt.
Yeah, the sculpt looks good, man.
Very good.
Update mine. Call it a day.
Okay. Any other final thoughts before we move along?
Steve's ridiculous. That's my final point.
I needed
That's
those
true.
laughs.
But he's got a
Thank
point.
you.
It's
I feel
both
bad. I
the-
feel better.
True.
I feel better. Just make some damn symmetrical web lines on your figures, because
You got all that, Hot Toys? Symmetrical next time. Get it right. Do it.
you should
All
see
right.
my Toby figure. It's worse. My Toby one is worse than that.
Yeah, The Toby ones came out pretty bad.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, those that would have bothered me. But again,
Mhm.
I'm such a casual fan. I don't even know if I would have noticed until you guys told me, and then it pissed me off. So,
I said nothing or whatever.
all right, we're gonna move along because we got a lot of figures. So, a nice week from Hot Toys here. Doctor Doom from Marvel, and this is, I believe this was, this is. I'm trying to think of the name. I'm blanking out here. But it's like the vintage line or the
The comic line.
comic line. Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
So this is the Doctor Doom. This isn't anything that I'm going to be picking up. It's just not my cup of tea. But I can admit this looks really cool, and I think one of my favorite aspects is the detail in the mask. But seeing the eyes behind the mask there too is really cool. But like, the chain link here too under the suit. It's just honestly, it looks like a really well done figure. What are you guys' thoughts? Let's start with Brick on this one.
Yeah, this is a figure that kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody was really expecting
A lot of stuff out of nowhere this week.
Doctor
Yeah.
Doom, especially since we had the Robert Downey Jr. announcement, right? So we were probably all thinking, okay, when that movie comes out, when a trailer drops or something, we'll probably get an announcement for Doctor Doom. But no, we went ahead and got one now, and I think he looks really, really good. Now the problem I have is, am I going to get this, or am I going to get this and Robert Downey? Because we know that figure's coming when that movie finally comes out. Or am I just going to wait? And I don't know, because this does look really, really good. And it gives me a lot of excitement for the Robert Downey Jr. figure coming out in the future. But man, usually I kind of shit on these effects, but I think they look really good with this specific figure for some reason. I don't know if it's the green or what, but yeah, everything you said too, Graham, with the detail, with the the armor, you have like the cloth, the material just looks like perfect.
It's really well.
I don't see I don't see anything wrong with it. The base is cool.
This is so. I wonder if the Batman Returns will do something like this where you can flip it around. Because it's kind of the same style. You saw it flip the other way where he had his foot up, but here it's flipped around and you actually have the nameplate. So I do wonder if Returns will do the same thing, because that would make more sense.
That would be cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like I was saying with Batman, is are we just going to get bases like this with all types of figures? And it'd be interesting to find that out.
Yeah, and I'm all for like a base that you can do multiple things with, like flip it around and you get a different look, or like something like this. So
yeah, I
like that a lot. DLO, is Doctor Doom something that you're real high on? Is this something that you've been waiting to kind of add to the collection, or is this kind of a snoozer for you?
No, Doctor Doom is one of the greatest villains of all time. Like, yeah, this is a big deal. This is 100% a big deal. I mean, it's honestly, this was probably my figure I was most surprised that was announced this week, quite honestly. Just because I thought if they would do a Doom, it would be a Hano kind of thing, just kind of reuse some seamless arms and paint the silver and whatever. But this is an all-in, absolute badass comic version of Doctor Doom. So I mean, am I in on it for myself? Not necessarily. You guys know I collect. I keep it strict. TV, movies. I always say the same thing. No video games, no comic, no alternate whatever. I just know it's always film accuracy I go for. But I know a banger when I see one, and this is a banger. The tailoring on this is absolutely amazing. The way the cape flows, the way the hoodie is, I'm pretty sure that's got to be wired.
Yeah.
This sits beautifully. It hugs the body the best I've seen them tailor anything in recent memory. The accessories, I mean, they're basic, but I mean, that's okay. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. It's Doctor Doom and all. I think the display base works a hell of a lot better for Doctor Doom than I did for Batman Returns, in my humble opinion, because it's for sure the same base, is adjusted, tweaked a little bit there. But I mean, overall, I think this is a hell of a smart move, because for Doctor Doom fans, this is the one that most people want. I think the Robert Downey Jr. version is something that people are going to have to see it first before they decide if they want that to be their Doctor Doom. This is a Doctor Doom you want if you're a fan, 1000%. So, I mean, for this one here, I mean, absolute banger. Totally surprised. This may turn out to be one of the contenders for figure of the year when it releases, in my opinion. It's that darn good. So, yeah, I'm very high in this here. I love it. I wish I could bend my rules, but I mean, that's how I keep my wallets ready for the next figure I need to get. And, you know, I keep the lights on here at the house. So I'm going to pass on this just because it just doesn't fit my collection flow. But this is a hell of a piece. I'm so looking forward to seeing more photos of this in the future in people's hands because it's a banger.
Yeah. You know, you can even see in the armor too, even from here, just like pitting and discoloration and whatnot. So like the armor itself is going to look super authentic, and you can see weathering up here going on too. So they did a really good job with paint apps and kind of selling the armor that it's like authentic sneaker.
Yeah.
How about you, man? Are you thinking about getting this, or is this kind of not something you're into?
It's really, really cool. I mean, to echo what was already said, but
Cool too.
yeah, I'm probably gonna have to pass at least for the time being on this. Also, I kind of want to see like what they end up doing. I know it's a ways out, but I kind of want to see what they end up doing with like the movie representation of this character too, and see kind of how that fits in with more Marvel stuff that might come from that as well, movie wise. But this is really cool, man. Yeah, I agree with what DLO said, especially the tailoring. Like, it looks really badass. Also, I know the base looks similar to the Batman one, but if you go to the one where it shows the crotch grabber, it's located in the front of the bit. Like, it's located. Well, I guess it depends on what angle you're looking at it. But if you go to the where he's like, if you go to the other direction where you see the nameplate, look at where the crotch grabber is located. It's located towards like the other. It's the opposite of what the Batman base is.
But it's
So
two spots.
Yeah. So, there is another spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's filled.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Enhance.
Oh, enhance. Oh, so there is a second spot. Oh, okay. So that's cool. I didn't notice that. I was going to say, it looks like it's the same, but then I was like, well, they didn't put the crotch grabber in the same spot, but.
Right. So
Enhance.
hopefully like people are saying,
hopefully they do the same thing.
They've already recycled that base, and this is going to be the same, and you can flip it around.
That's gotta be a first, right?
It's also
Twice in 1
hilarious.
week?
Yeah, it's also
Same thing.
hilarious. They
That's
recycled
gotta
the
be a
shit. They
record.
already recycled the shit already.
Well, especially
But
going
it
from
works.
DC to Marvel. Like, it's
Right.
it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. But it works. I feel like it works though with this figure too. It looks really cool. I like how I like this, like how you can have two completely different looks with the base with like the banners and stuff hanging down. And instead, if you want to get the special edition, you actually get the dark hold and a second mask instead of some interchangeable lenses and a camera flash. So I'll just say that because that kind of still like just rubs me the
Let it
wrong
go,
way
bro.
when it comes to Spidey.
About
Bro.
10 minutes ago.
I can't let it go. I can't let it go. No, I'm just kidding. But it looks cool. It's not something that I'm gonna get. Definitely not something I'm gonna get right away. But I'll probably keep my eye on this one, man. I'm kind of with DLO. Like, I'm trying to be really selective about like some of the comic representations of stuff, just because it doesn't fit with like how I have my collection. I'm trying to be a little bit more cognizant of that too moving forward, especially since I like just revamped everything. Like, I feel like some stuff is just, it's really cool, but then just overall how it's going to fit, I think is something that I'm kind of thinking about a little bit more this year. So for now it's going to be a pass, but it's a damn cool figure.
Very good. We got Toy Quest 101 in here. What's up, boys? What's going on, my friend? Thank you for joining us tonight. Sneaker and DLO were on the show. Was that a little over a week ago? Not this past weekend, but the weekend before.
Yeah, it was the weekend
Yes.
before, last weekend.
With Yost from Jazzinc. So go check out Toy Quest channel and that video, because there's a lot of good information if you're curious about Jazzinc or the Batmobile, and check out his channel as well. But this is a really good question too. Anybody upset that it's not die cast?
I'm not really upset, but I'm a little. I don't know. Like, is it like the plastic for Iron Man? And I know it's probably not going to happen, but like the discoloring and everything that I don't know. And the plastic just seems so much lighter. I'm not pissed. It's not like a make or break for me, but I mean, I think they could have gone die cast, but they probably will for Robert Downey Jr. Huh?
Yeah, I just don't think that if like they they went to diecast route, I don't think this figure gets made. I feel like that's kind of a concession, like to get this version, because as much as I'm excited for this figure and how much I praise it, I'm not getting it, and I think that's going to happen a lot with collectors when it comes down to this figure over here. I think it's one where you have the diehard fans that are really going to be pushing for this one here, but I think the casuals who are not crazy about Doom, they're probably going to pass on this figure. So I think Hot Toys kind of knows that, and they're saying like, okay, well, we're going to give them this figure, but we're not going to put certain R&E costs into it there and inflate our pockets, because we don't expect it probably to sell as much as, say, I hate to say this, but probably the Robert Downey Jr. version will probably outsell this one, but this might be the better figure in the end. So I think it was just a price choice, in my opinion. That's just my 2 cents. I have no idea.
Very well.
Very well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna get the better price with it not being die-cast. I think Hot Toys does such a good job with their paint apps that it's hard to tell with the naked eye if it's die-cast or not, but it's just more of like that premium feel when you have the figure in hand and whatnot. I think it's just nicer sometimes, but for something like this, I'm also not. I'm fine with it being plastic. I mean, Mando is all plastic, and he looks perfectly fine and authentic and believable. So, yeah, I mean, diecast is great, but you pay for that as well. So, kind of having your cake and eating it too there. But either way, it looks really cool, man. Nobody's for sure getting this on the panel. Brick seems like the only one that's maybe 50-50, but he might wait for the live action movie, and then DLO's probably gonna wait for the live action as well. And Sneaker and I are kind of just hanging out there and not really sure. So
yeah, I mean, if they weren't announcing 1,000 figures a year, then I'd get this. But
which we're all happy about, but yeah, just still hard to keep up. Oh, so we're talking about out of left field here. We had the Amazing Spider-Man, which nobody saw coming. You have Doctor Doom, which nobody saw coming, and then you have a Samurai Predator, which is branded from Alien versus Predator. What? This is something that I just I didn't expect, and as cool as it is, I don't see myself getting this, because while this is considered live action, kind of, it's just not something that has meaning to me. I don't remember seeing this in Alien vs Predator. Do you guys?
Can't say I recall.
So like, it's branded a live action movie, but I don't have any connection with it. So looks cool, but I just don't think I'll be getting this. But same technology that we've seen with previous Predators. The joints are going to be visible. There's not really much they can do about that. This is a really cool accessory right here. I like that. Awesome. It's a different look. If you're like back in the day, and DLO can attest to this better than any of us on this panel, but back in the day, you actually have people that just collected Predator, and they'd still have a whole big case full of them. So like, for people like that, this is probably like, if they're still in the hobby, this is like something that they would love to get their hands on. But for me, I just need something that's more like, from Predator 1 or Predator 2 or something like that, that was actually a prominent role in the movie. But what do you guys think? I know, Sneaker, I'll start with you. You thought this was really freaking cool. But we talked about, though, so here's my question. You just talked about how Doctor Doom doesn't really fit in the collection. Can you make this one fit into your collection, or is this one just really freaking cool that you're going to admire from afar?
Yeah, that's a really good question. But I think, honestly, the ones that were shown out of like the ones we've talked about, this one, Garfield, Spidey, and then Doctor Doom, this is the one that like probably has my attention the most, to be honest. Like,
interesting.
Even though it's like not like specific like movie representation, this just seems like purely like work of art level figure right here. Like with the artists, I don't know exactly what they're calling this, like this artist line that they're doing, or like this artist collection, but this just looks badass. Like looks like there's been just a lot of just like love and care basically put into creating this figure by somebody who's like a true artist Like that's what kind of draws me more to this. Also, like I have just like samurai stuff, whether it's whatever it is, like I feel like you guys can probably say the same thing of like just being drawn to stuff that's samurai stuff. There's one figure that like kind of this reminds me of when I first saw it, which isn't like completely related, but like you guys know like Ghost of Tsushima, like the Jin Sakai, like Ghost of the Battlefield figure.
Yeah.
Dude, I have had my eye on that figure for a while, like since probably maybe even before I started collecting Hot Toys. For like having this figure like next to like a Jin Sakai or just some type of like samurai figure would just look like badass having that in like a mono or something. So I'm thinking about it. It's just really cool, man. Like this is one of those figures that is just very, very unique. I don't really care if it's from the movie exactly or not in that regard, just because it's so unique and so different. This like additional helmeted look that you get to, I think is so cool. And who knows, like it's still up in the air whether or not Sideshow is going to have like this special edition piece or not, or if that's going to be like Hong Kong exclusive. We don't, I guess, know yet.
Is this numbered at all?
No, it's not numbered. So that's what's really interesting. Like they didn't say a number, but Hong Kong
I
knows whatever. Like
for this on Sideshow, so they must be getting some. Yeah.
Yes, but like the one unknown, I guess, is like, is this you guys can tell me what you think, and I think like they're gonna do just like they do all these other figures. Like special edition is gonna include this alternate, this alternate helmet. I think, but
on it.
Yeah, I agree. Like with what Thrawn's office is saying, this is one of like the coolest figures I feel like I have seen from like a technical standpoint and art, like an artistry standpoint, just overall with how it looks. That xenomorph head is really cool too. I mean, it's just really cool too. But this is going to be expensive.
Parted out. Yeah, this is.
So this is going to be expensive. This is going to be probably over 4, I would imagine, based on what they've done. What Feral Predator was 430?
4.
It's 4 exactly.
405.
So this is going to at least be 4. This is going to at least be 4, based on that. But yeah, I'm just like pretty high on this figure based on just overall, just how badass, how just on looks alone. And like I said, I think this is a figure I get drawn to from that art, like an artist perspective, right? I feel like that is so cool. I hope Hot Toys does like more cool stuff like that, because it's also, I feel like, a figure that we talk about having people getting stuff that just everybody has. This type of stuff kind of is one of those like collection separators, right? I feel like whether or not everybody's going to be drawn to this, which is fine. But for me, like this just looks so cool. And like red is just like, red is like favorite color. Like I know it's not that serious, but the red just really pops on this figure. So I'm pretty high on this one. We'll see. I want to see the price, see what goes down with Sideshow. But like I said, this is the one that really captured my attention the most out of these 3. If Sideshow gets this and they have the special edition helmet, I'm leaning towards probably getting this one, actually. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. This is one of those, man. It's just like, it's just a cool figure. It's a cool figure.
All right. DLO. Does this this looks like sculpted dreads instead
Those
of
are cool looking though, I think.
Right? Because they kind of
sweet, man.
That's your thing, whatever.
That's your thing.
They kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's just the way they're laying, but it almost looks sculpted, which I would actually be for, because
that would be a good thing. Yeah,
they would last.
Yeah, you can see them in the front. You can see them like in the front too. They look sculpted.
So that's actually really cool. I do like that, because that's something I worry about with these older Predator figures, is that they're gonna crack out and break and whatnot. But you sent me this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the OG.
Yeah, it is. This is one of the hardest figures to get in Hot Toys.
I have never even seen this one.
This is certified Grail. Not many collectors nowadays have them. Not many people sell this one here. And if you see it listed, it goes for a pretty penny. So
it did.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It did. Yes. Right. And then
another Grail gone.
This week happened. So
another Grail gone.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Such is life. This has been around for a long time, but yeah. So kind of echoing everything what Steve said already here. I mean, yeah, he definitely is excited about it, and I have to agree with him. This is a very exciting piece, without a doubt. This figure screams the P word. Present.
Oh,
Yes.
Pricey.
reorder. Because I know he doesn't do it.
Pause. Correct. No, presents. This screams presents, man. This is one hell of a piece. I mean, I think someone wrote in the comments, this is concept. That's cool. That's great. That still follows the rules. So I'm still in play for this one over here for myself. So that's good to know. I mean, the red just pops, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
essentially this right here, I mean, I don't even look at this as a figure because I feel like once you dial in the right pose, I can see myself keeping in that pose forever just because it looks damn good. I feel like this is a statue, but not in a bad kind of way, but in a way of just like you barely have to do anything with it. And I think immediately your eye will get drawn to this particular one, especially with the color red, the amazing stand that it comes with there. I mean, that is a gorgeous effing stand right there, right? So, I mean, I think overall, I mean, this one's going to be in a funny place because I think no one's going to say anything necessarily bad about this figure, but I don't know if everybody wants this as their Predator representation just because, you know, some people like myself, I am itching to get a jungle Predator, right? And then maybe possibly, God willingly, they'll do like a Dutch or something like that and do an Arnold 2.0, right? That would be insane to have something like that. So, like, yeah, this one falls in a very unique place, kind of like the first one did, because the first one was slept on when there was a craze for Predators. It was kind of slept on, and then it became a grail over the years just because there wasn't so many in circulation. So possibly history is going to be repeating itself with this one over here. And I mean, what can be said about it hasn't already been said by Steve because he just said every point. It's beautiful. It's okay.
Oh, thank you, Dila.
It's beautiful. It's, you know, an amazing one. I am definitely keeping my eye on this. I'm curious to see what the unit count is on this here too, because, you know, if it is limited, one, like I think X-Men might have mentioned, Hotline might have mentioned it on his stream. If it is 500,
I think it's 500 Hong Kong,
It's like-
and then
yeah,
we'll
so
get
like-
a different number here.
Yeah, so I don't know the numbers yet. I mean, that's to be determined. That's just reading the comments here. But if it is limited like that, that's gonna be a hard figure to pass up on. To be honest with you, it's just hitting all the things that you kind of look for in collecting sometimes, where you're just looking for that unique piece, like Steve mentioned there, where, you know, it kind of differentiates your collection from somebody else's collection. I agree with that comment there because I think that's a very true and very fair point to make. If you're looking to stand out and find something that's gonna differentiate your collection from the next person's collection, a figure like this would absolutely be a showstopper for sure. So I don't know. I think I think I talked myself into this. So I want this now. Damn it. I want it.
Yeah, I think I'm still out just because I gotta just stay true to what I'm doing with the collection, and this doesn't. It looks so badass, but it doesn't have any meaning for me. So I think Mitchell hits it on the head. It looks cool, but after time, I think the novelty would wear off for me. So I'm sticking to the Jungle Hunter Predator when it drops.
Yeah.
I wonder if you guys would change your mind once you see that one, and if they do anything different from that.
I don't
feel
really
for
want
me,
to.
I'd get both, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like it's enough.
But this really does do, like, the base itself really does remind me of a statue where you have like the black rounded base and then the whole diorama detailed stuff on top and then the figure. But so they've done a really good job at that. It looks high end. It looks awesome. Brick, are you considering this, or is this something that you're just kind of like, hey, it looks cool, but not for me?
No, this is something that if I can get my hands on it, I feel like it's a must-have. I mean, this is a badass figure, man. And like you said, I mean, this is the closest you're probably gonna get to a statue. Looks like a freaking like Ninja Turtle on steroids from TMNT 3. I mean, this thing looks badass. So, you know, yeah, if we get the Jungle Predator, I don't know. Just I've been talking to like Hotline about Predators because that's all he ever talks about. You know, the new Alien movie came out. I watched Prey, like, I don't know, a few months ago. I'm just really into Predator right now. And then they dropped this with this base. This is something that I really want. Now, if it's, you know, 500 pieces here and I can't get my hands on it, then I'm not going to like try to get it on the aftermarket or anything like that. But if I can get in the queue and get my hands on this, this is a must-have for me.
I mean, look at the mandibles. Like, look at the sculpt and
Yeah.
the paint work without the mask on here. Like, Graham, can you find a photo where he's not wearing the mask? Like, there's a close-up, I think, of it there.
So cool.
There's an actual close-up.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Go the other way. Other way.
There you
Oh,
go.
right there. There you go. There you go. Look at that.
Jesus.
Look at the paint
Jesus.
detail on that right there.
Crazy, man.
That's freaking sick. Like,
It just
that
makes
is.
me happy to think about the new Predator coming with what I'm seeing
Alright,
here.
Don't change the subject. Yes, that's true too. But like, look how good this one is. Though.
When we got a new Predator movie coming too.
It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know. I just it's cool, but I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna let you guys have this one. I'm gonna let you guys get out. Let's see who gets it.
That looks good, man.
Be interesting to see what happens with this one. Like, it's weird. This was the one that they didn't really say. Like, you usually they always put like whatever 3,000 limited, 2,000 limited,
Right.
and I know like it's just like this. Like, I don't know if it's like this. It seems like this is event based. Like, that's what it seems like. Is they're doing this event and they're limiting it to like, this is the amount that we have at the event, exclusive at release, immediate release, and then others like the more are going to be available. Kind of like, it reminds me kind of like the Deadpool with the golden guns. Like, hey, we have these imminent, like immediate release, but then they're still going to be available like on Sideshow to buy. That's kind of what it seems like they're doing with some of these, but I don't know. It's very weird.
They need to make this limit. That would be a huge mistake for this one because as much as we like it, I just don't think there's enough to make it a mass produce version of this here. I just think that it would not sell out as quickly if it goes mainstream. And I just don't think this is a mainstream Predator as well too, because kind of like Graham said, there's people who have their own idea of what Predator should look like. So I hate to sound like that guy here, but if it's not limited, I'm not in on this one.
Interesting.
Whoa,
really
how the
interesting.
Wow.
difference have
He just talked
tables.
about- He just
Yeah.
talked about how amazing this figure looks.
What if it's not limited? Because limited
Not
sells.
limited.
Now, this is one of those exceptions to that there. I just feel like
Yeah,
Hypocrite.
I like
if
that.
it's
I
out there like that,
D'Lo.
man, I just don't think it's as good. I just don't
I
think
like
it's
that a lot.
as good as well.
I like it a lot.
Anybody else on the panel, if it's not limited, out. Even though it looks so amazing.
I'll still get it.
I'll be out. I'm a dealer.
Like I said, I want that
That's-
special
that-
edition
this-
mask. I
This
want that
this
special
figure
edition,
this
the
figure
crest
just
mask.
it looks so damn good that if they don't make it limited, it ruins that.
This screams special
Wow.
edition. This screams premium. This
What do you
screams.
think about that?
If you
What have you become?
no, I just feel like it shits on the integrity of what this figure should be. This is
This should
work
be a
of
limited
art.
piece. Yeah, it should
Right,
be a limited.
like
this
not
would be a piece to
everybody
make
should be
limited.
driving
I
a
get that.
Ferrari. Let's keep it real, right? Like that's like this is like you're gonna be. I'm gonna be.
If
dishing
everybody
out
could drive a
points
Ferrari,
this year.
those buyers wouldn't buy a Ferrari. They'd
There
go,
you go.
You
They'll
know,
find something else to drive, right? Like I
Graham
just
is
feel like
flabbergasted right now.
I'm just very.
you gotta make this special. Like it's special in what it is. You just can't shit on your own work. You got to have some kind of artisticness on top of the business stuff that you guys constantly throw out here and just like shell out. So like for me, you got to give us something that's like, hey, this is premium, this is rare, this is this. You got to throw us a bone every once in a while. I mean, everybody ran out and got 300 troopers today. Let's keep it for real, okay? No one would have bought all those up today if it wasn't limited, okay? And it works. It makes sense because this is a very specific market for those there, and you just created something that is instantly desirable and valuable because it's that limited. You do that with you do that with this figure here. This is another absolute grail to collectors, chase figure, if you will. But if you make too many of this one here, when people have a connection to the jungle predator or even the city predator, I mean, whatever your predator is, you can probably name one or two ahead of this one, and that dilutes the value and like the fun of collecting this one here. That's just my 2 cents on this one.
No, I'm a little blown away just because I heard I was just hearing like how you guys just were gushing over this figure and whatnot, but then if it's not limited, you just won't get it. Like I could see that makes it more special, but then to say I'm just not gonna get it after just like gushing over is just surprising.
Hey, I like Doctor Doom, but I said I'm not going to get it. I got rules, man.
Well, but you got a rule, yeah. But I don't know. This is I don't know, just a little
The
different.
limited, I'm telling you, man, this is what I've been saying all along. That limited draw makes it makes a difference. It makes a difference sometimes.
So
You
let
want
me
those
ask you guys
limited
this
pieces.
here. All right, since we have some concern about my answer about this here, in fairness,
No, I get your.
I'm
I
over it.
100% get your point.
No, I know you
Go
get me,
ahead,
Steve,
go ahead.
but I want the guy below you to get me. This guy here. Yeah, the guy with the dim lights. Oh. Yeah, no, Grim. So I mean, hey, so what's your concern about my take? I mean, again, I'm open to conversation, so it's not like I take.
No, I have no
offense,
concern.
so.
I figured if you really loved the figure that much, you'd get it either way. So it's just I get what you're saying about it being limited makes it more special, but I guess if I heard somebody talking that positive about a figure,
Mhm.
and if it's not limited, they're not getting it. It's just
My thing is, I don't want to spend $500 on a figure that's not limited. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if that's the way I look at it. I don't want to spend $500 on a figure that's not limited. That's just, to me, if everyone can have it, like D-Lo was saying, then it's not special. It still looks badass.
What about
Sure.
all Atreides?
But I want something that looks badass, and yeah, but that's different. That's Dune.
How's that different?
Because that's Dune, and that's the only Dune figure we got. You know what I mean? Like that's a little different.
It's not limited.
But it's a lot different. If this was the only Predator we had, then sure, okay, that's a whole different story. But like, we have so many Predators to get. We have a new one coming out even after this. I mean, there's that rumor going around that the Jungle Predator is coming. We have a new Predator movie coming out that they might make a Predator for Prey, the Feral Predator. Like, it's crazy, but this is badass, and this is something that I want. But again, if it's not limited, that's a shame. I think it should be.
Hi,
Very
Hot
well.
Toys. Welcome. Hot Toys Highlands here.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Hot Toys
Bye.
Hotline. What's going on, my friend?
Bye. Everybody must buy. No, I mean, listen. I don't think anybody's going to argue that this isn't a phenomenal figure, but the thing is, what I don't want this figure to turn into, because it absolutely will if Hot Toys decides to do it. If Hot Toys doesn't make this limited, I don't want my figure that I think is absolutely amazing to be on a BST group for half what I paid for, when it's supposed to be a unique one-off piece that should be celebrated and be a big trophy in my collection, as opposed to somebody's garbage bin because they bought it off the hype and now it's absolutely worth nothing to anybody, right? Like,
Exactly.
it's almost like it's almost like a cause and effect, if you will, of like, hey, I was very happy with my figure, somebody else isn't. Now their unhappiness with the figure has made me unhappy with my figure, and now I don't like my figure as much because someone doesn't appreciate the figure as much as I do. So there's a lot that goes into that, mentally thinking about that when you're picking out a piece, because you want it to be a representation of your collection and yourself and your personality. But at the same time, when we're talking 300, 400, 500, whatever we're going to be paying for, I want my money to say, hey, I went out of my way and I spent top dollar because it's premium, it's limited, it's rare. And if everybody is doing it for 500, then I'm buying the wrong figure, if I'm being honest with you, because I feel like my $500 is important to me and I want it to be important to what I purchase. That's just kind of how I feel with pieces like this. Because I'm not
limited
this
though.
This isn't Batman. This isn't like something that I constantly collect, where like I will buy every Batman or I will buy every Luke Skywalker. This is a piece that should be a standout because this is something unique. And if it's available to everybody and everybody's dumping it 6 months after they get it, it's not unique anymore. And that's just kind of how I feel about these kinds of pieces.
Like, you can find it for like $330 later.
Yeah.
Like,
What about this? Is even if it's not limited though, it's such a limited interest, I think, for people. I think even if this isn't limited, not everybody's going to go out and buy this. Like, look at me. I have no interest in it at all, even though I can admit it looks great. But like, I don't know. I just think of almost, even though it's Predator, they have a bunch of old Predators, but they aren't making new Predators. They might make one, they might make two, but that's probably going to be about
Well,
it.
and they got the
So-
feral. You know, they keep coming.
Sure, but this is so different. I don't think it really matters. Like, you know, you have a Hellboy. You don't see that on the market a lot. Like, you have these one-offs that is almost, it's just such a niche kind of figure that I just don't think if this isn't limited, I don't think everybody's going to have this or buy this.
I guess a better answer for me is if it's limited, I'll rush to get it. If it's not limited, then it's one that I'll wait for because I know it's going to be on the market for
Sure.
cheaper later. So maybe that's a
I
better
guess I
answer.
was just taken aback that somebody could like a figure so much, but then just be totally off if it's not limited. I was just a little surprised by that. But it's not wrong or right or anything. I'm just.
I mean, I like the Loki figure, but I'm totally off on that artisan. Like, it looks great.
Do you guys like this special edition mask? Like, is this enough for you to get the special edition?
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Because like then my next question would be, Sideshow puts this up for 2 weeks, which this is what everybody has been asking for a long time too, is why doesn't Sideshow do timed exclusive on stuff for their figures? Like, oh, you get an exclusive accessory, you get an exclusive something to make it more, if you really are invested in getting the figure and you want some type of limited attachment to it, why not do something like what Mondo does where you add a timed thing? In this case, like to me, this helmet is like, this is a cool special edition exclusive piece for me. I think like for me, I want this crest. Like I want this. This draws me to a special edition. So Sideshow, let's say Sideshow puts this up. They timed exclusive this for 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever. And then it's gone. It's waitlisted. Are you going to give in and buy the special edition with this crested helmet? Or are you going to say, no, I'm not getting it because the figure as a whole isn't limited? Like what's going to draw you to get this? If it's not limited, what would make you pull the trigger? Because for me, like that's enough for me to pull the trigger. I want this crested helmet, and if I know like that's enough for me as a draw limited too. Like if it's a special edition timed thing, like I feel like that is cool in and of itself. Because once that's gone, that's it. They're not going to make more. It's going to be waitlisted. They're going to cut it off at 2 weeks. So like that's kind of, I feel like, is also there's some give and take there as far as limited goes too. Because once you miss out on that, you got to take your chances in secondary market for that.
Yeah, but the problem with stuff like that is then people part things out. You can, it's, you know, you can still find it. You know, it's not truly like to make it special. You got to find it to where someone's not willing to part ways with the figure or anything at all. Like that's how you truly create a quote unquote grail, right? It's just people are not willing to sell their figure because they love it so much. But I think where I'm trying to answer that part, Graham, to your part where you're saying like you can't see how that's something you can like so much, you know, you'd be out on if it wasn't limited, because this is a very special figure. It's special, it's unique. I can already tell that this is a well-crafted figure, and a lot of work and a lot of phenomenal work was put into this and making this special. Why ruin that by just mass producing this one over here when you can create something that will eventually be something that'll be extremely desirable and will keep collectors' interest in your products? Because that's the thing about Hot Toys and what it was built in. I know it's not that anymore, don't get me wrong, but you still need to have some of those in your stash so that way you can keep collectors collecting. Because that's the thing about these things are supposed to be collectible. At least some of them are, right? Some of them need to be. So I just say with this, like, this is beautiful. Like, this is some of the best work I've seen them do in a long time. That and the Doom. I love the Doom, the Dr. Doom as well too. I think those two great announcements this week. But this one right here, the first one was a grail. It was thousands of dollars. Okay, so this one essentially, for a lot of collectors, is going to be the one people are going to be going after next, right? So the 1.0 is going to suddenly come on the market now, and you're going to see it at more reasonable prices than it's been for years. So if you're going to kill a grail, I think you owe it to yourselves to replace it with another potential grail. And that's where I see, because this is far better than the first one is.
Sure.
And I think if you treat it that way, well, you just made a fan for life, and you're going to get somebody who's going to continue to collect. I just feel like there's so many opportunities to continue to make profit, which is what Hot Toys is all about these days, but at the same time, keeping collectors happy enough to want to keep collecting. And I feel like they're missing that special connection they had with us when they were doing it that way. because all I see right now is just dollar signs. If this is not limited,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, good conversation about this figure. I did put a poll up. I want to ask the chat too. Does it matter if this Predator figure is limited or not? Basically, like to you. 24 votes, 54% said no, 45% said yes. So pretty split there as well for the people that did vote. But either way, it looks really good. I guess we'll have to wait and see if this is something that is actually going to be limited or not, because typically, like I think Sneaker said, it's usually right here for us to see. This one doesn't say anything, but we'll need to get more information on that. Finally, let's get through this guy. This was how many pieces? 2,000?
Yep.
2,000 pieces. Sold out. It was actually on Sideshow for a few hours. And then, so you did have a chance to get this. It didn't seem like there was like a queue or anything like. I didn't go on, but there's no queue. It just kind of was live and then was there. So, are we surprised that this took a little bit to sell, or not that it? I mean, 2,000 isn't an overly abundance of figures. So, how do you guys think? How do you guys feel about that? That it kind of sat for a few hours, or were you kind of expecting that? Sneaker, start with you.
I'll go first. Let's wait for them to go first.
As our resident Star Wars fan.
It's interesting. It depends on if you want to get into like conspiracy theories about this or not, because it's very weird. Like the queue brings everybody to the piece, right? Yeah, a lot of people have problems with the queue. This one was just randomly shadow dropped. Like you got an RSVP text. Basically, if you RSVP, they sent you a message, hey, this is available to order. So this is like shadow dropped on us, which is why it was something that took a while to sell. If this was queued, this would have been gone in 15 minutes at 2,000. I think so. Based on what this other Star Wars stuff has done, I think this thing doesn't get out of the queue. I think it sells out before then, just because it's Star Wars, and that's what's been happening with every Star Wars piece. But yeah, it sat for a few hours. I got it like shortly after it went up. Shortly after it went up, I got an alert, and I ended up getting it. It's interesting they do these, like they're doing these Troopers limited, but this is like kind of to what Delo's point was about something being limited. Like this is a cool piece to kind of have limited. It's a very unique, kind of more niche design figure that you're going to have in your collection. And then for like the diehards, like me, when it comes to Ahsoka, like this is something that I wanted to have in my collection. Like this is another figure that is just something that kind of sets things apart. Very unique. Like that's what I would just say about it with this, like with this damaged helmet, with like kind of this true, like kind of like zombie, like undead look. I just like Ahsoka line. I've been talking about this whole time. I can't wait to see how the Ahsoka line just looks in a case. This just adds to just more dimension and variability of stuff to just make it such a nice, well-rounded line when it comes to the Ahsoka line. But yeah, I picked it up, used some rewards. But yeah, it was up for a while. This one, Connor. Yeah, I definitely only got one of these. I'm not gonna be buying multiples really of anything at this point. But this is gonna be interesting to see. I was talking to Connor a little bit about this. This is gonna be interesting to see what happens with this one on the aftermarket. Because we know what's been happening with some of these other ones, like Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Clone Commando. Like you can get them for retail basically now. After all that hype about them being limited, dipping down, you can basically score them pretty close to retail. So it'd be interesting to see like what happens with this one. But I feel like kind of a smart choice to make this one something limited, and for me something that like, yeah, I'm happy to get. I can see why people wouldn't want it, but for me, yeah, this was one that was a no-brainer for me as far as picking this one up.
Delo, I don't think you got this.
No. I'm happy you went to a happy home. I'm happy that Steve's happy, because yeah, Steve would have been. I would have felt bad for Steve if he didn't get it, because I know how much he wants to complete his Ahsoka line. So I'm glad you were scooping up, broski.
Thank you, Delo.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
As far as the figure's concerned, I mean, it's a trooper, baby. Trooping.
It's like a Christmas wrapped trooper.
But yeah, to kind of the point here, this is smart. This is exactly what I was just saying about the samurai one. To that now, I don't think 300 is fair for the hunter. So I mean, the samurai. So don't get me wrong. I think obviously they should make more than this, but I think for a trooper that's, you know, they've done 2 times before, Rogue One and the Mandalorian, where they overproduced a lot of those. I think this was just, you know, just having some foresight and saying like, hey, this is probably going to be very niche. I'm not sure how much this is going to appeal to other collectors to get this one. So they made it 300, which I think is great. I think it's a win for collectors. Just like I said before, now you have a unique piece in your collection that only 299 other people can say. So yeah, something like this doesn't speak to me. I can appreciate it. It looks really nice, but 300, man. And a shadow drop as well too. No queue system, no nothing, no fair warning. That's how you keep interest in people collecting still. So exactly what I was just saying a figure ago. There you have it. Proof in the pudding.
What do you think of the price, Brick? The 275. It's a trooper, but at the same time, kind of get like a half a head sculpt, a unique head sculpt with it.
Yeah, I think the price is on point. Honestly, I mean, it's limited. You have that detail and that half head sculpt. It looks good. It's still a good looking trooper. I mean, and prices are already going up, so it's nothing new when it comes to these figures. So I think it's a pretty good price for that. And it's just something that I wasn't really into. I there's a couple of Ahsoka figures that I want, but like DLO said, I'm glad these figures went to a happy home, and this is something I just didn't feel like I needed. So
let me ask you. I mean, I get why like Brick doesn't really need this one, because we've already known like he's focusing on one Vader, one Luke, one Maul, like the main character. So I totally get why this one appeals to him. So, but DLO, why is this something that didn't really catch your eye or doesn't have your interest?
Well, just because there's so many, in my opinion, better characters to collect from this very same line. And, you can only buy so many. You got to be considerate of your space and how much you expect to buy from certain lines and how that works within your display availability. So this one was just a casualty of spacing, to be honest with you. So, and plus, I mean, I wasn't crazy about that added into Ahsoka during the showing, so it really didn't appeal to me on that level anyway. So I wasn't going to make an exception now. So for me, it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, I mean, it's a great piece. It's something that, someone who 300, like I said, I'm hoping like that's 300 houses that generally want it, and it's not something as a way to, try to get people to buy it for more than what you paid for it. I certainly hope it's not something like that. And I just think that, it's niche. Like, I think if you put that against all the heavy hitters you have in that line to go from, this would probably be at the very back of the line for me if I was in the market for one of these. So the fact that Hot Toys had the foresight to see that ahead of time and see that, like, hey, this probably makes more sense for us as a limited edition as opposed for us spending a lot of money on this and then having to build them in the factory, having to ship them out, all that other. When we have so many things else that we need to ship out and make that's on our calendar for this year, I think it works for both parties. Happy collectors. Hot Toys made a ton of money really fast. To me, couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah. So DLO, they actually are making 2,000 of these. It's not 300, but
what do you mean?
there's a few more.
300. Wait, you're lying.
There's a few more.
They're making 2,000 of these? I thought someone said 300. You kidding me?
It's 2,000.
What is
we were
it?
talking about
Like an early release?
We were talking
thing
about Hong Kong. So like Hong Kong only got 300 of these.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah,
wait,
Hong
so
Kong
we're
only
getting
got
2,000 here.
So it's 2,000 worldwide, but Hong Kong only got 300 for this event. So that's why I was kind of saying, like, I feel like this like Predator. Yeah,
So
that's why I feel like the Predator is going to be like still on Sideshow, and it's going to be like time special edition.
Scratch everything. I'm sorry, guys. For some reason I heard 300 the whole time. I
mean, you still made the point exactly like whether or not the number is irrelevant. I mean, you still made the point of like this being a limited piece, smart. Like it's still.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just thought it was way more limited than that. Holy cow!
And for the most part, the limited
2,000 people to buy this. Holy, good for you guys.
Waitlist, man.
Their value
after like a few hours.
Yeah, it took a few hours. So, but no, like you said, like
300 for some reason.
Star Wars is crazy, man.
I mean, and people are saying it's waitlist already, but like I don't know, 2,000 usually goes in like 15 to 25 minutes. So
well,
like,
again, like you're only alerted to this if you RSVP'd. And I think when you give everybody time to prepare for it, like they've been doing these lotteries, you know, this is going live in 1 week or 3 days or whatever it is.
But in order to get into the queue, you have to RSVP too. So I mean, it kind of works the same.
Yeah, but I'm saying so. Another thing is, I guess one other thing is like you didn't have to RSVP to get this, but in order to get the alert, like you had to RSVP. So I think word only got around, like you only really got alerted to this dropping if you RSVP'd, but then word got out to everybody, and then everybody could click on the link without RSVPing. So I think it just goes to show you a little bit of like the system of like, because you know some of the argument for the queue is like, hey, I'm here, I am like in the queue, I was here first, I'm the one that's most interested. Well, I would say if you're RSVPing, you're probably the most interested. You know what I mean? So like there's an argument to be had there of like, maybe you should RSVP and they should just be shadow dropping these things like this, and you just free for all.
It's already out. Like I know for the artists and stuff, like you'll RSVP and you're already in the queue and it's live for like
you get it
minutes,
late,
and then you get the email and you're just like, well, thanks a lot. Like
so that's why I say I wonder if they're testing like some of that. I don't know. I was kind of like, it was very weird that this just dropped randomly. I thought that was so weird not having a queue for this one.
Now the question here: do you think by chance that people like myself thought it was 300 because that's the early word that came out at the time when we first announced this, like less than 24 hours ago?
Yeah.
And then people RSVP'd, and then do you think the word of mouth helped everybody when they realized it was more than just 300 available?
I think that's a really good point you make too, because it's really weird. I woke up in like the middle of the night last night, it was like I looked at my phone and saw that this was announced, and it said an hour ago. Like I just randomly was checking my phone. I forget. I think I was looking at like the cameras for my kids' rooms, but check Facebook because that's what I do because I'm sick. I checked to see if there's any Hot Toys drops, and it said an hour ago, but it didn't say a number on there. Like it just said like this is a limited piece. It didn't have a number on there, and then the rumor had been, like you said, it was like 300 in Hong Kong only. So I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, what's going to happen with this? And then they ended up updating it like later in the morning that it was going to be 2,000. So it was very weird. I don't know. So maybe that does have like something to do with it. This is everything about this one was just odd when it came to like how the whole thing happened compared to what we've seen with these other limited figures.
Sure.
I kind of like it though, if I'm being honest. Though I like the idea of like shadow drops like this here, just because, you know, you're first come first serve, right? And also you're keeping away from resellers and stuff like that. Maybe the word didn't get out to them, and maybe the person, maybe someone, a real collector who wanted it, gets shot, because you know how many times these things go on, and someone's on Facebook group complaining how they got kicked out of the system or something like that, and they couldn't secure it, so now they have to pay an extra. You know, so you hear it all the time. So. So I mean, it's just one of those things that like, I kind of like this. I don't think they should do it with everything. Like, calm down. Like, I'm not going to wake up every morning, in the middle of the night, every night, just to see if Hot Toys drops something. Let's just calm down with that. But yeah, so I'm looking every once in a while, something like this, which is super niche, to find 2,000 people. My hat's off to you, Hot Toys. But like, yeah, let's be real. Again, this would sit if it wasn't.
Oh, for sure.
Can I say something real quick, Graham? Because Mitchell, and I thought I was crazy too, because I woke up in the middle of the night, but Mitchell said 2,000 was on the original Facebook post. So if you go to the post and you go to edit history, you can see the initial one they posted. All it says is it's an exclusive figure available only in select markets. Like if you hit view edit history and then go to scroll down a little bit and then just hit see all edits. Yes, right in the middle there. So, go up a little bit. Right up a little bit, right there. See all edits. 1106. Expand that one. Go up a little bit and hit see more.
1106.
See more. Yes, hit see more. Click see more. Click see more. Like right below.
See more butts.
See more butts. Click right there. See, look in the middle paragraph. So it wasn't on there. So I'm looking at this and I was like, this is weird. There's no 2000. Then they updated it later in the morning. So I'm not crazy. Just checked. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe that had something to do with it.
Interesting.
DLO might be on some.
What time was it updated at? Around what time during the day?
Said like 4 a.m.
And then it was updated thereafter, or later on in the morning, like when people were actually awake and had coffee.
That's when they updated. Maybe that they updated a couple different times, but it looks like early in the morning. But
I was working. I was already out. So don't hold it against me.
I don't know. So when I saw it, I was like,
2000.
when I saw it, I was talking to Connor about it, and I was like, it's weird they didn't put a number on it. And he's like, they did put a number on it, and I was like, I didn't see like any indication of a number when I saw this post. Like, what is going on? So it's just very, like I said, very weird how they did this one.
Mystery.
Grail though.
Yeah, this isn't one that I was interested in. Even
I'll find it on the retail in a month.
Grail.
yeah, even as cool as it looks, I don't know.
Sad.
Something
Sad.
I'm kind of with DLO. Like something about this doesn't scream Star Wars to me. Like maybe I'm the old guy that's stuck in the old ways of Star Wars, but it doesn't scream Star Wars to me. It's not something that I need to have. Wasn't sure how I felt about it being in there either. It just kind of not bad, not good, just it's there. So just something that's easy for me to pass. It's also a trooper, so like you said too, DLO, there's so much in this line that I already can't get that I'd rather have than this. So this is just an easy pass for me. But yeah, having said that, I think that just about does it, unless anybody has any final thoughts on this.
Sadness.
Not on this, but
No.
you want to leave without talking about the queen size question in the room?
Yes.
Okay, so next episode, guys. Thank you. It's been fantastic.
What are you talking about?
We'll talk about.
Are you seriously
InArt
don't
next time.
again queen size
Queen
studio?
Studios.
InArt,
Yes, out art.
InArt Superman.
That's the one.
Well, now that you mention it, I guess we have to. I was just trying to get to bed at a decent time here.
Nope, no such thing.
Can't wait for my nap.
Let me.
May I remind you, I'm on the East Coast and I have a tropical storm outside my window.
Oh yeah, it's already
All
the
right.
next day over there.
We'll give DLO what he wants.
What the people want.
All right, let me pull this up here. So, InArt officially released their InArt Superman, and this is their video here. You can find a bunch of YouTubers have done reviews already on this, and I've watched most of those. But did anybody pre-order this? I did.
You did,
anybody
didn't
else?
you?
Did
Yeah.
not. Did not.
So, I want to know then if anybody's like in on this, if you think if it's a miss, if they kind of lost quality going from prototype to release. I don't know. I think it looks good. I think in some lighting that the neutral head sculpt looks a little washed or flat. This head sculpt looks freaking sick. And then I didn't realize that the hand holding the bat cowl was actually magnetic. So that's
Mhm.
pretty cool. Because I thought it was just adhered to it like permanently, but it's not. So I really like that feature. Obviously, it's a tease maybe for Batman coming because they've been talking about doing that. You get the two capes, the one wired, the one draping, and then you get the stone base with the magnets in that are able to be moved. I don't know. I think the head sculpt looks really good. But what do you guys think? Is anybody like seeing this and be like, man, I'm definitely going to get this, or the other way around, I'm not getting this? I don't think it turned out as good. What are you guys' thoughts?
Dude, I hate that flight pole, like the way it sticks into his back. I can't stand that. But everything else, to me, this is the best. Man of Steel that we have. Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, this is something that's hard for me to judge. It looks good. It's just I'm gonna get a lot of hate. It's just not my Superman. You know what I mean? Like
Into it.
this is something that I'm not really into to begin with. But I mean, he looks really good, especially the angry head sculpt. So that's literally all I have to say, just because of that.
Hayden says, I've seen a lot of quality control issues with this one so far. Can you elaborate on that? What have you heard that is the issue? And I was with you, Brick. Like, I didn't like the tension on the zipper in the back, pulling that open to put this in. But as long as it doesn't ruin the suit in any way, I do like that the idea of that better, because you're not having.
And like, how many times can you zip it? Like I've broken bigger zippers on my coat that won't zip anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd probably leave it unzipped because you have it's in the back. You have the cape. I don't think anybody's going to see it, so I'd probably just unzip it, leave it unzipped. They should have just made something built in almost, because either way, you have a zipper or you have like a female adapter piece where it just plugs in. You know, what's the difference? It's in the back. It's under the cape. It's no different than having a Darth Vader with a junction box, you know, hanging off the back. You're not going to see it. So
they could have just done a magnet to the back and see how many times that falls, like the Joker. I
don't think magnets are their friends right now. I don't.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
It was a joke. But I do like the fact that it looks natural. It's believable. You don't have the waist grabber, and also not only is the waist grabber not a good visual sight, but it's also gonna ruin the suit over time with the indentation and whatnot too. At least the Hot Toys does. This is InArt, so it's a different company, but that's just my thought on it. So I do like the idea of it. But DLO, how about you? What are your thoughts? Are you getting this? I know you were kind of excited for it during announcement.
Yeah, no, I kind of was, and it kind of fell off my radar, if I'm being honest, just because a lot of InArt stuff happened in between this announcement and by now. So obviously I've cooled off a lot of InArt over time. But yeah, like let's start with the flight pole. So the flight pole scares the hell out of me, right? Because like the magnetic bases, all stuff, these figures tend to fall down on these bases. I just don't think they have it down right. My concern here is like if my Superman takes a tumble, hypothetically speaking, and that acrylic cracks the pole, or God forbid, even worse, inside the figure, then what? You know what I mean? So like, I just don't know. I know for visually wise, it makes sense because it gives the illusion that he's hovering and flying, but I just feel like I would have went a different way. I would have went more for stability over actual like
aesthetic.
Figure looking. Yeah, aesthetic. Thank you. And it's just like, I feel like, I don't know, that was just something I would have done myself. Head sculpt wise, I think there is a clear winner out of the two, and I think the angry head sculpt is the clear superior head sculpt there, which it looks fantastic. But like, I think because Superman is such a beloved character, and he's more considered a pure character, and this is more of an evil, angrier look to him there. So I feel I'm kind of disappointed with the normal sculpt. I feel like it's very soft for what it is, and I think a lot of it has to do not necessarily with InArt per se, how they made it, but I think it's the expression they chose. The expressionless look on Henry Cavill is very hard to mimic. I'm a big fan of Henry Cavill's Superman, so I've seen J&D's work, and I've seen Prime 1's head sculpt. No one really truly gets Superman totally right. I haven't seen anybody just run away with a great Henry Cavill likeness. So it doesn't surprise me here that InArt couldn't do it. It's a very hard face to like get right, in my opinion here. I feel like if they used more like of an expression in his face, kind of like how he made in the movies, a lot of and stuff like that, you can get a lot more expression, and you can create a better, more accurate looking Superman head sculpt. But I think when you have a relaxed face like that, Henry Cavill's face does not lean better to that, because his forehead looks too big, his eyes look too wide, his expressionless kind of takes away from his jawline. So, I mean, there's a lot of technical things to it there that just make it an okay look, as opposed to, I mean, look at that there. Can you pause that for a second? Get to that angry sculpt for a second. Okay, so look at the brows, how they're going up there. Look how the cheeks they're flexing. They're going up into his closer to his eyes more. You can clearly see Henry Cavill's facial, whatever there right away, easily. You can recognize it automatically. When you go to the softer one, you know who I thought he was at first when I looked at him, specifically from the nose up? He reminds me of the actor who plays a crow in the new movie, the guy who plays Pennywise.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that guy's face more than Henry Cavill's face in the last one.
Skarsgård.
Yeah, one of the Skarsgård kids. Yeah. So yeah, like that's what I saw more. So I mean, it looks okay on that side of stuff, but again, I think there's clear one I would personally use there. And the only other issue I have there is the suit. I don't like the proportions. I think he looks a little too frail for Superman. I think he's a little too small. I think Hot Toys made him too big. I think InArt made him too small. And I think there's a lot of design work in the suit that's lost because of how thin the suit is as well too. There's a lot more lining in the thighs. There's a lot more lining in the arms as well too, to kind of accentuate what the muscle lines would look like, even though it's covered by a blue suit, right? So that's kind of what they did to give Henry Cavill the definition, because when you put on a suit like that, you're going to lose all the training and working out he did to get into shape for the movie. So, no, X-Men, sorry, brother. I'm going to keep it 100, man. Like, it's a good figure. I don't want anybody to, burn down my house. It's a good figure, but like, hey, this is you're in my wheelhouse now. Star Wars, I'll give you that. Everything else, but you're talking DC, like you're in my wheelhouse now. I'm gonna take you to school on this over here, okay? But yeah, that when it comes to the suit here, I think everything came out soft. It's decent, but there's a lot of things that I saw people put in a checklist of feedback that they gave InArt, and a lot of that wasn't done on this final product. So I know I'm not the only one who saw it. There's a whole giant list with a lot of things that I'm rattling off now that covers this as well too. But overall, as of this conversation, it is the best Superman. So we'll just wait until see the next one comes out. But this one here, yeah, it's good. It's just, it could have been better. That's just my 2 cents on it there. Please don't burn down my house. I know InArt, we love it, but gonna be honest with you guys. That's my take on it.
Outside of the head sculpts, I mean, I don't think this is like. I do think the proportions are better than the Hot Toys one though, because I think he's just too, not even just bulky, but like the proportions just weren't as accurate either in that one. So like, if I had to pick one for proportions, I think I would pick this one for sure. But I get it too. It did come out a little soft. Like I think the angry head sculpt is amazing, but I was a little, and again, this is seeing it on video. Like hopefully when I see it in person, it'll look a lot better, like the Batman, the '89 Batman does. So like, these are just kind of what we're taking from seeing it in the videos. But I thought it was a little soft, and the head sculpt, the neutral head sculpt wasn't as great as I thought it could be. But Sneaker, what are your thoughts on this? Are you picking this guy up, or is this not something you're looking at?
Yeah, I pre-ordered this actually shortly after I was after I had a stomach bug, because we were talking about this last time, and I was really sick, and I binged watched like all of the Snyderverse stuff. So I picked this one up, and this one, so when I saw this, it was basically like I thought it looked really good when I first saw it. And then now it's kind of crazy because in the community we're getting like, there's so much talk right now about how like we gave InArt a list, right? We gave them all this feedback, all this stuff that they could do, and they didn't change anything, right? And InArt is a company that's like, we value your feedback. We want to get your information. But it's interesting. Everybody's complaining about like, I shouldn't say everybody's complaining about it. A lot of people are voicing their opinions about InArt didn't change anything, because that's what people have now come to expect from this company, is that they're going to take all your feedback, integrate it, and make it better. What I would say though too is, what do we expect from Hot Toys? We expect, this is the prototype. We're going to get possibly a downgrade from what we're seeing here, but InArt, everybody's kind of like, they're going to raise the bar from what we're seeing in their initial prototype. So I think that's kind of messed with some of the expectation of this as well, of like, people are a little bit upset that it didn't get all of these updates. For me personally, I pre-ordered this based on what I saw in their prototype. You know what I mean? Like I saw this, it was something that I thought this looked like a good representation of the character. and I pre-ordered it based on that. I didn't pre-order it with the thought process in mind of like, we're going or this is going to go through a bunch of updates, and I'm going to have to, you know, determine whether or not I want the figure at that point when it releases based on that. So I think that's just something to think about. Like, and then the other thing is I can completely see why Hot Toys doesn't really voice anything when it comes to their figures, because now InArt seems disingenuous, right? Like they're not being honest because they didn't, well, we value your feedback. They didn't update anything and they put this out. So like as a company, what do? You know what I mean? Like if you, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, whatever way you go. Oh, you're not doing enough for us. And then it's kind of, oh, now like you, like now you didn't do anything for us that we've come to expect from you. So I think it's just kind of a lesson learned there too, as far as how like InArt is communicating some of this stuff. But like, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. I'm going to keep this for sure. And I get some of those shortcomings and stuff, but it's not enough for me to change my mind on this one. Like this is like DLO said, best Superman. Hot Toys is probably going to come out with another one. I wouldn't doubt it. Just like they came out with another BVS Batman, they're probably going to come out with another Supes for sure. But I'm happy with it. That's kind of the stuff that went through my mind though. It's just interesting how all of that happened. And we want InArt to be putting out figures more, right? I'm still here waiting for my Batman figure that was released in March. But at the same time, like, this is where it's kind of tricky. Like, we want figures to come out fast. Are you okay with figures coming out at this level and they didn't change anything? Or do you want them to take their sweet time to make it perfect, as close as you can get? But then, like, what are people still going to say? They're taking forever to come out with stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's really a tricky thing, I feel like, to navigate. I'm not making excuses for any company for anything, but that's kind of just like, this is what I expected for the figure. I guess I didn't really think that this was going to get massive like overhaul or updates, and like, would have been nice to get all that stuff. Sure. But I'm happy with, you know, with how this turned out. And it's tough because like you guys said too, it looks a little bit different depending on whose video it is that you're watching and some of the lighting and stuff like that. So like you always say, it's probably going to look a little bit different in person, but overall, yeah, I'm happy that I pre-ordered this, and I'll be excited to get it.
Steve, you want to do a live unboxing in about 8 months?
If we get it at the same time, sure. I don't know when you pre-ordered, and when and this is like something
I think I did right away.
This I didn't. So
okay.
I think I pre-ordered when it was like, I think I was like, oh, I'm gonna like sleep on it a little bit and wait another week or two. Well, another week or two can push you back another month or two or longer. So with this batch system they have. So and then also I'm hearing now too, like I ordered from Spec Fiction, and I'm hearing that when it's in stock, like when you have to pay your invoice, that it's then 2 more months for C-ship.
Jeez.
So
no kidding.
Yep. I heard that that it then has to C-ship once it's basically coming to you. So that is a killer for me. I'm not going to see Batman until a year after this figure came out, which is just not cool. So I don't know if that's for sure true for all the ones that end up coming into stock, or if like what's happening with that, but that's something that I heard, and that is unfortunate. If I now have to wait 2 more months after this, I actually have to pay, or after whatever the invoice or whatever, it's my order's completed to get this. That is a bummer. That's really the thing that if this is gonna I don't mind waiting a little bit, but like when it's released, that's something that we've already talked about this. Batman invoice from Spec Fiction is C-shipped. So that's crazy. Once you pay it, you got to wait 2 more months. That just sucks, man.
That's wild. I had no idea.
Yep. So, and that's for that company. I'm not speaking for other companies. That's just
shout out to Kit.
what I've heard from that. But yeah, that's like nicer to do that. But also I ordered Batman when it was already out of stock, and then they did another allocation, and it popped up in stock. So I was like, okay, I want this figure. I'm gonna grab it. So
gotcha.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this one, man. It looks really good.
Same. Collection Obsession has a really good question. So all of you that don't like the InArt neutral Superman sculpt honestly think that the Hot Toys one looks better?
No, no one even said that. I never. That's why That's the one thing I don't like about these InArt reviews that I'm seeing pop up. Everything is compared to Hot Toys. Why can't we just talk about the figure?
Sure.
I never once brought it up at all. Hot Toys, literally. So, in fact, I think the only time I brought it up when I said something right now was when I said that I believe the InArt one is better than the Hot Toys one. So, no, I don't think that it is at all.
Same. This isn't the perfect figure, but I do think it offers a lot. I like both head sculpts. I'm not sure about some of the, like you said, some of the lighting or maybe that neutral one, like in certain videos. But from what I've heard, is people have said in person it looks amazing. So I'm gonna go by that. Comes with some pretty cool accessories and the floating base. So gonna do that. It's I was never impressed with the Hot Toys one actually, and again, not to compare them to the two, but this is why I pre-ordered this one, because I really wanted the best likeness to Henry Cavill to have in the collection. So I do think that we're getting it here. Could Hot Toys pull a Joker and re-up them one more time? Sure, they could, and that might happen, but only time will tell. So any other thoughts on the InArt Superman?
My Joker just fell again. Just now? I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
He fell
my
backwards.
gosh.
He fell backwards on the magnetic base.
Wow.
I
do not
just
trust these
heard a
magnetic
knock,
bases
and
either.
he is backwards right now. Luckily, he landed on my back half shelf. But
And how
come on, man.
They have the
Dude,
sliding
dang.
magnets now to make it easier, but how can the small magnets hold the whole figure up? And even then, it's the ankles and maybe not, like it's top heavy. So
And I made sure earlier
They gotta
today,
ditch
because like I told you guys, I came home with it, pushing on my MagiSpace DF acrylic panel with the head right into it, and the top of the panel was leaning forward. It was off. The top corner of my panel was actually disconnected
Jeez.
magnetically with the head like this up against it.
they at least,
Gosh.
again, I talked about earlier, like Hot Toys should give you two capes, wired and draping. Like InArt should give you the magnetic base, but have an option for the crotch grabber as well. Like have a crotch grabber and you can plug it or whatever you want to do. Like at least give the collectors the option, because while it may not be aesthetically pleasing, at least you can have that peace of mind knowing like your figure is secure and safe. So if it's going to be faulty, they should really
Some people have their collection on the second floor where the floor is a little shaky.
with
you
little
know?
kids running.
Think about that. Fuck.
Wow.
S tier, ladies and gentlemen. S
I'm
tier.
about to put some
S tier.
sticky tack under there.
Here.
S tier.
Justice for Joker.
All right,
Be
guys.
careful.
Well, hey,
Eventually, it's gonna rub the paint on the nose if it keeps taking.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope that
that's
doesn't
what I
happen.
was.
Yeah,
because
would've
mine
been
was like
worried
on
about.
the hair. Mine was like landed right on the hair, so it was fine. But if that happened where it got like a paint chip, I would be pissed.
I saw a lot of those pop up when that first happened, but careful with that.
Yeah.
Put a little
All right,
cushion
boys.
at the end of it.
We're approaching the 3-hour mark, a lot longer than I thought we'd be here, but nonetheless,
Seven
we
figures.
got through it. We talked about a lot of figures, so that's a lot of fun. We had a lot of good conversations. Really quickly, Brick Artemis, if there's anything you want to plug on your channel, now is the time.
So other than Wolfpack, I also do the Bugle 6, which some of you guys might already know. That's every other Monday. That's every first and third Monday, I should say, of the month. So far, for this coming up Monday, I've got Justin How You Figure coming on the show. So looking forward to that. And then the following week, I have the Queen G, Jose, and Austin coming on that episode. So really looking forward to the future of the Bugle 6. Going to be some good stuff. And yeah, got a few figures in. I was going to do a haul video, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to enjoy unboxing these figures and maybe make a short out of it. You know, this is your figure kind of thing. But yeah, just enjoying the figures for what they are and taking my time unboxing them. I came out with a Lego video. It's been a while, doing poorly because the algorithm is confused as shit. Which happens, you know, when you do something totally off.
I was surprised to see that one.
Yeah.
Same.
So
Give it a go.
So yeah, I mean, I've got Lego videos that have done really well, and then when you just change up the algorithm, it does very poorly. So, but it is what it is. Had fun doing it. Still a passion of mine. But other than that, that's it.
Uh-huh. Collection Obsession, I just want to pull this up. Says Sideshow just charged my card for regular Artisan Joker. I'm hoping that means it's dropping soon. Why would they do that?
Please
If
no.
it's not even interesting.
I'm looking at mine
Very.
right now.
Keep us posted.
I'm scared.
While Sneaker's looking at that, DLO, if there's anything you want to plug about your YouTube channel, your IG, or just in general, what's going on with you?
Yeah, no, videos progress is back up and running here. I've been recording nonstop all past weekend. That's been a little hectic at work, so I haven't had too much time to edit everything, but I got a couple videos that I'm doing simultaneously, so that way I just
Nice.
have content going week to week, so that way there's not such a gap like usually is for my channel. So hoping to get like a kind of a structure of things moving forward, just so I kind of know what kind of video I'm going to make, just so I can be more consistent with my stuff. But yeah, pending that we don't lose any power here in Florida with what's going on, I'm going to post something later on next week to just kind of get the ball rolling with stuff like that there. So yeah, for now, be on the lookout for my InArt Superman review that came up. I got one. I didn't. Sorry, I couldn't resist myself. Sorry there, X-Man, if you're still here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you spit your coffee out there. But yeah, no, I didn't get it. I didn't get a Superman one. But yeah, guys, it was a great show. A lot to talk about. A lot of good points. A lot of good conversation, like a typical Wolfpack Wednesday episode is. Shout out to the panel for keeping everything lively here, and shout out to you guys in the comments, always being the MVP of everything we got going on over here. So thank you guys so much for your contributions as well. But yeah, take a look at my channel, DLO The Collector on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, just finished this up, so I got a lot of fun stuff to share with you guys. So I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've been excited to see both of your guys' collection updates. So looking forward to seeing that whenever you guys get them up. But
Because with this Joker problem I got here, good luck.
but
Yeah.
then,
This is going to set me back another month.
Sneaker, is there anything you want to plug
my
quick?
Gosh. Oh, what do I got going on? Yeah, I'm unfortunately not as far along as DLO with my collection. I still got quite a bit of work to do, but I just had a lot going on. But what do I got coming up? So I do my show every Sunday, 8 p.m. Central. You guys can always catch me over there. I know a lot of you guys are always over there with How You Figure. And then I'm going to New York in a couple weeks for New York Comic Con. I'll be there. What are we? 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away. So I'll be in New York for the weekend. So if you guys are going to be at New York Comic Con, hit me up. I would love to meet some people there. Looking forward to making some content in New York. All right, start it over again.
Go to bed, Shane. Go to bed.
Shane. What's up, Shane? No stay.
But thanks for being here.
That's really all I got going on. I would love to do a review of this Mark 6 with the gantry, but we'll see. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. A lot of lives right now. A lot of live streams. Because that's
Very
what I got
well.
time for. So
Yeah, I hear you. It's tough to go in and make content week in and week out. So I usually come out with a video on Fridays, but that might get pushed to this weekend because my Thrawn is coming in Saturday. So I'm hoping to maybe film Saturday night, edit it Sunday, get it out by Sunday night, Monday, something like that. So that I'll get out as soon as possible. And then Mars Toys Joker, I know that's been out for a while, but I still want to review it because it looks like a really fun figure, and I want to share that with you guys. So that'll be coming hopefully the week after. And of course, my room tour is still on the back burner, which I'd like to do. So you guys can subscribe to all of these fine gentlemen's YouTube and Instagram in the description below. So make sure you do that. Give them a shout. And thank you guys so much for watching each and every week. You guys made it a blast as always. And we will be back next week. Till then, though, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. Too sweet, everybody. Go Cowboys.